Hey, what's up guys, this is Jin, who are also known as the Ninja Jedi, and if you're watching this video, then I want to congratulate you because what I'm about to share with you, okay, is going to completely change the game. If you want to learn how to put manifestation on autopilot. Manifestation on autopilot is basically like a life hack. It's like up, up, down, down, left, right, R, L, A, B, and bam, anything that you want, all your desires, and you have something you want to overcome, any obstacles, any fears that keeping you from going to where you want to go, to reaching your dreams, right, to living a fulfilled lifestyle, any of that, you can put that on autopilot. And I finally found a method so simple that you can implement within a single day if you follow exactly what we do. Okay, I follow exactly what we're going to show you. So it was, some of you guys may know, back in November of 2012, I actually created the most epic hangout in history. Actually, it was actually called Most Epic Hangout in History, right? Because that was my very first live stream seminar that I've ever done in my entire life, and there was over 1,700 views that night. 1,700 views that night with over 400 comments. Because what did I show there? I showed people how I actually manifested $5,000 within days, within thin air, from the time that I set my intention. And I've done that over and over again, and I want to show you guys how to do that. But this time it's a little bit different, right? Because if you guys remember, that was like a 4-hour hangout, guys. That was like 4 hours of solid content. I had people coming back to me telling me, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I went through the resource that you recommended, and boom, I manifested thousands of dollars. I manifested this, I manifested that. And the same information that I'm going to share with you guys actually showed me how to, actually basically attract the perfect people, the perfect situation, and the best opportunities into my life to propel me to where I am right now, to start living my dreams, to start traveling the world, and basically have a bucket list of things I want to, my dream list, and just check, right? But not only me doing it, because I believe a master, right? A true master is one that creates the most masters, not the one that has the most followers. So what I've done is actually shared this information with other people who have actually used my information and manifested everything that they want into their life as well. Now they found their soulmates. Okay, now actually one of my friend, buddy Richard, he's married to his basically soulmate, and we have another person, my good friend Danny. Right now he manifested the girl of his dreams, a spiritual girl that he really wanted, and boom, okay? And there's tons and tons and tons of other people, and the information I'm going to show you, it's not only for, manifesting relationships. If you want money, anything that you want, anything that you want to overcome, is going to have a simple method, okay, that we're going to create the whole content. The whole thing is going to be structured. It's not just going to be us blabbing about nothing. We're actually going to give you the outline on exactly what to do, and it is extremely simple. I want to make sure you guys have that. And why am I doing this, right? Why am I giving this out to everybody? Because I know how it feels. I know how it's like to see somebody transform. I know the gift that I have, and I want to show you guys that you guys have your gift, but some of you guys don't know what that is. You don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what your mission is, and what it is that you're here to do. And I'm telling you that because there's a lot of blocks, there's a lot of stories, there's these beliefs that we've been conditioned to have that's preventing you, right? All the stuff in your mind that's preventing you from knowing exactly what it is that you want. And through identifying these blocks and using the little simple method to help overcome all of these things and put that on autopilot, then you're going to live a much more fulfilled life. You're going to be more happy. You're going to be able to manifest anybody that you want. You're going to be able to manifest the dream lifestyle that you always wanted. And by being around people who are going to uplift you and inspire you, you have no choice but to move forward. You have no choice but to transform. And all I care about is for you to be happy, for you to live a joyous life, and for you to have everything that you ever wanted. Why? Because I know that in order to change the world, we got to be the change that we wish to see in the world, because I believe that change starts from within. And when you change from within, then all your external circumstances will reflect what it is happening in here and in here. I am freaking excited for you guys, because I already have it. I already have all of that. I already know how to do it. And my friends already know, but we want to share this with you and share this with the world, because we know this is the information that will change the world, because it's easy. And we're going to show you that. We're going to prove that to you. Okay? So I don't want to keep this going for so long. It's already going about over 6.5 minutes now. All right, guys? Be there. I love you guys. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace. Oh, oh, are we live? We're live! Oh my God, you guys! I am so. This is awesome. I'm so happy you guys are here, and I am just grateful and honored to even be here with all these amazing people here for us to talk about how to manifest anything that you want, your desires on autopilot. And I know that's a really bold statement, right? It's like, how do you manifest on autopilot? Like we've learned about law of attraction before. We've read The Secret, and we know a lot of other people who've done the law of attraction and think positive and things like that. And then we're supposed to like all of a sudden live like a great, this awesome lifestyle, right? It's supposed to happen in a snap of a finger. You just think it and it should happen, right? But for some reason, over 95% of the people who are studying the law of attraction, it's like, what's going on? But you know what? Before we get into that, I just want to introduce you guys to somebody very dear to me because he actually has a time limit, and I just want him to speak up and just share, because Justin is the guy that got me started into spirituality. Okay, I was lost. I was actually in a really bad spot in my life, and I didn't know what direction to go. You know, after high school, I'm like, go to college, but then I dropped out because I didn't know what I really wanted to do. So when I got a really bad spot in my life into that whole negativity about, the truth about the world, and, started jumping around from religion to religion to really find myself and figure out who I really am, that's when Justin introduced me to a guy by the name of David Wilcock. And he is actually the guy who made sense out of everything. So all of the, the pyramids, the Stonehenge, all of the, this is crazy stuff. So, but I think that if you guys are watching this right now, a lot of you probably have looked into other things, or maybe this thought creating reality thing, right? Like maybe that's real, and maybe we've been exploring and done some research on our own. But I actually want to hand it over to Justin, and I want to ask you, like, how did you, like, what's your story? How did you get into law of attraction, and what has the law of attraction done for you?
For sure. I just want to give a shout out to you, Jen. I'm proud of you and your team. I'm just looking at you guys and how fast you're growing. So shout out to Barry, Jess, and Philip for putting this hangout together as well and attracting hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people tonight in such a short time notice, because Tony realized that the law of attraction is real, and once you start to fathom how true that is, if it is really real, you realize that the law of attraction has no limits. Something I've discovered, there's no difference in manifesting a little bit if it's a goal or manifesting a lot. And now I'm starting to have a lot of fun playing around with this. But I think one of the biggest reasons a lot of people fail with law of attraction is they don't have the right mentorship, and they don't have the right community of people that they can plug into that are living manifestation miracles, like Jin Hua and Jess, where they're able to think of something that they want and then attract it and then teach, right? There's a lot of teachers out there who are preaching the dream but living the nightmare. They're talking about the law of attraction, but if you're not applying it into your own life, I don't feel like you're qualified to teach. So I just feel you're at the right place at the right time. I discovered the law of attraction back in, I'm guessing, 2006. I got a DVD. I was in a network marketing company my uncle got me into, and he gave me a DVD. It was a burnt disc of The Secret, and I got home, and he just said, watch it. And I said, this guy was making the money I wanted at the time. I said, I'll do what you tell me to do. I watched it, and my paradigm just shifted instantly. I actually became very emotional and started crying towards the middle and the end of the movie, and I'm not one to cry from watching things. So it like opened up this Pandora's box inside of me, and I said, this is information that I'm supposed to have. This is information that has been hidden from me my whole life. I didn't learn this at school, right? I'm learning this through a network marketing, company, being at the right place at the right time. So that's when my journey began. And I actually created like 150 DVDs. Remember, you can go to like Best Buy or something and buy a stack of DVDs like this for like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks. Yeah. I said, I'm going to make as many copies as I can. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I was bootlegging, and I'll just be honest with you. I burnt 150 copies, and I made it a point to give it out to people where I felt the universe was saying, share this with this person. I had them all in my car, and whenever I'd see somebody, I'd say, I'm just passing this on from the universe. Check this out. I think you're, and they're like, what are you trying to sell me? I'm like, I honestly am not trying to sell you nothing. I just want to share this information. And it's actually quite interesting. I thought, like, by sharing this information, all my friends would be so excited. It just changed my life. I knew I was going to be successful from that moment because I made a decision. You know, I'm like, if this stuff is real, there's no limit to what I can have. So I started imagining things and such, right, and just planning out my dreams and what it would look like and where I would want to go. And then I started sharing it with my friends and closest people in my life. And that's when it just shocked me. It's like people thought I was like a little loony. Like, you can't manifest things that you want. This is the way that life is. And you have to go to school. And you have to do this. And you have to do that. So I'll just be honest with you. It was a little depressing when I thought the response from the people closest to me were going to be like, thank you, Messiah. Like, thank you for sharing this with me. You know, I thought they'd be very humbled by that. But I guess it seemed to piss off a lot of people. And then I started to study the psychology of people and why they do the things that they do. It's not that people are bad, but people are brainwashed. You know, you've watched The Matrix. You understand that many of us are awakened. I believe that if you're on this right now, you're awakened and you're watching this for a divine purpose. But you start preaching the truth to people, and you may not get the response you're looking for, right? So I decided I'm going to create my dream and manifest it, because then people have to listen to me, right? Because when I was broke and when I was poor and I didn't have my dreams, nobody listened to me. So now I surrounded myself around a community of other enlightened people, right, that are living the dreams and manifesting the miracles, and just plug right in, and that's when everything starts to change, because now I have influence, as sad as it sounds, because I've earn a lot of money, and I'm not going to even throw numbers out there because it's not important, but just because I earn a lot of money, people listen to what I have to say. So now I get to use that influence to teach people hidden knowledge. I get to use that influence to teach the people about the law of attraction, because I believe every human being deserves to know. I get to use my influence to teach people that I believe the school system could be better. I mean, what if we taught the law of attraction? What if we taught psychotherapy? What if we taught the truth in the world? What if we taught young people that when they have a dream, they should do whatever it takes to manifest that dream? And what if we taught them the how-to? You know what I mean? What if we showed them 1, 2, 3, this is how you manifest miracles into your life, right? What if we told them they didn't have to go to school, you know, for 8 years and go in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a career just so they can live like a slave for the rest of their lives? What if we told them that the universe is infinitely abundant and there's no limits to what you can have, as much as you can dream? So everything just started to shift. So I just feel blessed to be around you guys, because I want to surround myself around people that share these same beliefs with me, because I believe we can make this world a better, you know, place a lot faster than it is. And I do believe it's a consciousness awakening, and that's exactly what we do when we mastermind together and share the secrets the way that we know it, not just telling you theory, but teaching you through experience. And I think that, my friends, is just, you know, profound. So I'm so excited to share with you guys.
Wow. That man, I love the people we're around. Like, I love you guys. I love our whole community, because before I thought I was the only one. You know, I was like, am I the only one who thinks about this stuff? I'm the only one that like cares about this law of attraction. Am I the only one who, you know, want to consider the idea that thoughts create reality? Like, am I the only one here? Or there's people all over the world who are in the same position that they just want to find some place to plug in. They want to find a family to go to. They want to find a community. They want to find people who are going to basically support them, right? To let them know that, hey, I believe in you. I know you're struggling right now, but you can do this. You know, that you can have all the success you want. It doesn't matter where you came from, because we all came from different places. So, like, now we all have our own stories, and we're all going to share our stories and how we're going to get there. But I just want to say thank you, Justin, because it was because of you that, you know, my life has changed, that I've actually started manifesting a lot over here. You know, it's like, So, yeah, man, so if you have to hop off.
Yeah, I totally appreciate you. I just believe, why can't you have your cake and eat it too? Why can't you make a lot of money and just help a lot more people? The biggest thing I see with a lot of movements and people that want to create change is they don't have any resources to make their incredible ideas a reality. And if you don't have the resources, you don't have the funding, then how can you create change in this world? We can manifest anything that we want, and there's no limit to what it is that we can manifest. So why not manifest the resources we need to create the change in the world that we need to create? And maybe one day there won't be you know, a dollar amount like on things, and maybe there just be everything be open, because I believe we can have a utopic society like that. But in the meantime, while money still buys food and money still buys resources and can help make things happen, why not create a lot of it? You know, why be afraid of it and fear it? Why not just welcome it into your life and then do good things with it? I believe that if you have money, it's going to show more the person you are. A bad person with money is going to continue to do bad things with it, maybe start wars, you know, like our government does. But a good person with money, you know, they can create change. They can fund these communities of self-sustainability like Jen and Jess are doing, and be able to do this amazing things in the world. And that's why I'm looking forward, you know, to our future. And I just want to say I appreciate you all for having me out here. I appreciate you, Jen. I'm going to hop off now, but I'll be talking to y'all very soon. Love and light.
Woo. Thank you.
Love you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Wow. Was that powerful or what? I'm so honored to have him here. So why are you guys here, right? So maybe you guys saw an ad somewhere, maybe you're on Facebook, or maybe a friend cared about you enough to actually bring you here, because what we're going to talk about again is to how to manifest. How do we do it? It's not just, I know if we watched the movie The Secret, they give you a really important part, but underneath that iceberg, you know, if you actually know an iceberg, the majority of the actual iceberg is underneath the water. And what we are going to be sharing with you is all of the foundational stuff that if you don't have, all the stuff that you've read in The Secret, even some of the stuff that you read in Think and Grow Rich, even some of that stuff is not going to work for you until you get the whole foundational steps down. So what can we manifest, right? There's a lot of things we can manifest. If you want to manifest better health, okay, and actually I have a story about, you know, me when I was experiencing like diseases, or not disease, like health challenges. All the doctors didn't know what to do and how to help me, but then just by simply changing my mindset about it, it instantly went away. So there's also other things like relationships. So maybe you have some relationship issues, or maybe you're trying to like manifest your soulmate, right? You're trying to manifest the person in your dreams. You can also manifest that. Maybe it's like a lifestyle that you want. Maybe you want to manifest yourself into another job, okay? Or maybe you want to manifest a dream lifestyle or money, okay? Because money, just like Justin was saying, that a lot of times, I know for me, I was resisting money because I was like, no, I see all these rich people, they're like bad, and I don't want to, you know, money is evil, and you know, money is the root of all evil and things like that. So we're going to cover a lot of these blocks, a lot of these challenges, and how to overcome a lot of them. So when all the junk is out of our minds, then we can finally see clearly. Because right now, a lot of us, we can't see clearly, we can't feel clearly, and maybe we have intuition, but sometimes it gets clouded by a lot of the stuff that happens in our mind. So what are we going to be covering tonight? Okay, we are going to be covering the traditional law of attraction mindset. Like, what is it that we learn in the traditional, you know, law of attraction, manifestation, all of things that we hear about, and how what we are going to be teaching you here is different from that. And then by knowing the missing pieces and you merge the two together, then everything will start happening. And we're going to show you a little simple method that we discovered towards the end of this hangout. That's gonna it's gonna change the complete game. Like, it's gonna change everything. So right now, I know you can think about somebody who needs this information, right? There's somebody out there probably, you know, going through some troubles, going through some stuff, and they might need to know how to overcome a lot of their blocks, overcome their fears, overcome whatever issue that they might have right now. And I am going to tell you right now what we're about to get into very shortly here. I'm looking at the outline that we have on this huge whiteboard over here. Okay, we're going to cover those things. We're going to cover all the steps, and not just like motivational talk and inspirational talk, because you get that a lot, right? But we're going to give you more practical steps, things that you can start implementing right now, implement tonight, so that way you can start seeing immediate changes. That's extremely important. So if you can, share this event with other people, okay? Maybe share the Facebook event, or maybe just share this page. So just copy and paste the URL and put it on your Facebook, send it out. Okay, let's get as many people as we can here, so that way we can change the world faster. So let's. I'm actually gonna want to introduce you to our co-host. Is Jessica Wink. Okay, I actually have to like click on her picture, that way she shows up. Okay, Jessica Wink. Okay. And Just Wink here, okay, you know how I'm like the manifester Jedi and things like that? Well, she's like the veggie magician, right? We gave her the veggie magician name because she's vegan, and like when I met her, I thought I was like the manifester, and then she just starts instantly, I'm like, what? How is that even possible? So, yeah, Jess, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for coming. I know we have a really great lineup for you, and you're not going to be disappointed. So like Jin said, if you've got anybody that you can think of that would benefit from hearing more about how they can attract some more positivity into their lives, invite them right now, because they are going to be in store for some great stuff just the same way that you are. So basically, what I want to just start out with is to introduce you a little bit more about exactly what it is that we're going to be talking about. So we have some very specific things that we have in mind right now that about the law of attraction, and we want to just debunk some of those myths for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys here so you can see my little presentation. All right, so with the traditional law of attraction, there's some certain things that we've all experienced that have given us a lot of times a bad taste in our mouths. We've experienced that with the law of attraction. When we want something to happen, it takes a long time to get it. And so we start to feel like things are too difficult, and we start losing our way and losing our practices. It takes a lot of conscious effort in the traditional law of attractions in order to actually get what we want, because we end up getting burnt out from it. It also has required us to be really proactive and carefully conscious about controlling our emotions, which is really difficult to do when we first start out, and we can start to lose some of our gusto because of that. Also, it comes to us in the traditional law of attraction through practice only if we fake it until we make it. And that, to me, is really incongruent with actually trying to accomplish anything, because with the law of attraction, we know it actually is the case that what we think of is what comes to us. So if we're constantly putting out that energy of, actually believe what I'm trying to get to is true in my life yet, then we're actually pushing it further away from ourselves. So those are some of the law of attraction myths that we're going to debunk with our upgraded version. So in all of the practices and all the things that we've been learning from our great mentors like Justin Berenji and other successful people that we've been practicing with and studying from, and with the years of practice that we have collectively between each other doing all of these things, we've actually learned that none of those myths are true, and that with simple upgrades, we can actually make change happen instantaneously. There's no more waiting. There's no more wait period. I'm sure so many of you are going to be so glad to hear that, because there's so many things that we want to change, and not being able to do them quickly enough is one of the biggest fallbacks that we have. We also have learned that we can consciously control how much effort it takes to make it to the next level. We also are able to leverage proactive subconscious reprogramming. So we're going to be doing a whole chapter about that tonight, leveraging proactive subconscious reprogramming. So we'll get into the details of that later. We also learned how to align our thoughts with our feelings. So we can now make everything in our conscious and our subconscious align. So there's no more discrepancies, there's no more inner battles that we're going against that we're not even aware of for the most part, and we're just take those away completely. So you don't even have to be aware of it even anymore, because it's not even an issue. We also have learned that we can state what we desire in a way that's congruent, and so now instead of fake it till we make it, we believe it to achieve it. So the energy of that is completely differently different, and we are seeing some dramatic results because of all of that. So we're just super excited to share all of that with you.
What we're doing here, we do it on a daily, consistent basis. It's not like, oh, let me just, manifest here and then that's it, and then you wonder when the next time is gonna be. No. We manifest every day, every hour, all the time. And right now, I'm not like I'm trying to get manifesting like every moment here, right? That's kind of difficult. So let me see on our line where we get back to. So.
Well, basically, I mean, just like Jim was talking about, so it's a matter of consistency, right? So with the traditional law of attraction, everything has to be slow and difficult. That's not any way that we can get consistent results. So when we talk about our upgrades and the way that we want to teach everybody and how we're manifesting consistently, that sounds a lot better, right? We want to make sure that we had methods that anybody, including ourselves, could stick with and see results with consistently. Because any technique is completely worthless if it doesn't make you feel like you are doing good or that you feel like you want to quit. So we need to remember that learning whatever it is, if it doesn't work, we're not going to be sticking with it. So we're here because we have, as a team, gotten consistent results, and we've worked hard to put this message together on how you can put manifestation on autopilot. So when we talk about easy, we're talking about more than just easy. We're talking on autopilot. So let's go ahead and hear from everybody on the panel, give a quick overview of who they are and what they're all about and what brings them here today.
Yeah, actually, one second. There's some logistical things that we're trying to figure out. By the way, so you guys know, Jess and I are actually in the same room. Okay, so it's kind of difficult to get the mic and the camera angle. We're having like a video crew here doing all of this for us, right?
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and let Barry tell his story. So Barry is one of my best friends in life. Everybody that knows me will know that if I have to pick one best friend, it's going to be Barry. We've known each other for quite a few years, and it's actually interesting. I'm just going to do a little plug back into our history, because when I first met Barry, just like Justin was saying earlier, when we are just starting out in our journey to manifestation and creating our own reality, we can speak our vision all we want because we think we found the answer to everything, and we're so excited to shout it out to all of our friends and family, and maybe they won't quite understand what we're talking about. And Barry can tell you a little bit from his own perspective. He thought I was woo when he first met me, because I was talking about this stuff at work all the time and nobody else was talking about this 10 years ago. So I started out the journey all by myself, and lo and behold, I pulled Barry into it with me. So here he is today, and he can tell you a little bit more about himself.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably an understatement. Not only did I think you're like a little bit crazy, I actually thought you're a lot of bit crazy.
Everyone's trying to mute themselves, right?
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? How about now?
I can hear you.
Can you? Yeah. All right. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. So I didn't think you're a little bit crazy. I actually thought you're a lot of bit crazy. But we'll kind of get into that. I kind of had the experience that a lot of people in the corporate world have, which is I lost my job completely out of the blue. Like no idea what was happening, and it just like one day, boom, it was gone. And a lot of people, and probably even a lot of people that are on this webinar right now are watching this, have probably experienced that at one point or another. It's having a job, having a really stable income, having expenses, like a mortgage and all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff being ripped out from underneath you. And so actually, myself, I just spent about because before that, while I was at that job, that's actually when I got introduced to Jess, and so when I was no longer at that job and stuff, I actually took about 5 months where I chose just to not work, and I lived off of my savings and that kind of stuff. I used that 5 months to just kind of develop myself and figure out what my belief systems were, and like religion, theology, and science, and all that kind of stuff, and really what I want to be able to do with my life in the long run. And it was really cool because I spent about 5 months just like developing me. It was the coolest thing. And then it was really funny because even though I believe in the law of attraction and all that kind of stuff, and I was putting a lot of these practices into place, I I didn't realize like like how powerful it really is when you put like you put your effort into it until I had an experience while I was taking that 5 months off. So at the end of that 5 months, I was like, all right, it's time for me to get a job. And so anybody who's watched The Secret or knows much about the law of attraction, there's vision boards that are out there. I created myself a vision board during the 5 months to kind of help myself manifest figure out what my purpose was. And again, going back to what I said before, I already realized it all the time before that. I just didn't accept the fact that I already knew it. So I decided, all right, cool, it's time for me to go back to work. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I, without putting out resumes, without making any phone calls and stuff, this job the corporate job that I used to do before working in sales called me like, hey, we heard that you're not at your job anymore. Would you like to come work for us again? I'm like, cool. It's a job that I really enjoyed, and it was in an area where I could utilize a lot of those skill sets that I really enjoyed doing, which was developing people and teaching people and that kind of stuff. So I got back into that. That's me in a nutshell, but not in a nutshell.
Awesome. Wow.
All right. So I guess since I'm definitely good friends with Barry, I'll just go ahead and tell him a little bit about my story. I'll just keep it really brief because we've got a lot of great content coming up for you guys that I'm sure you're all aching to get into. We have some great steps of exactly how Barry changed his life and how I changed my life and how Jin did. The content that we're going to get into is just do our quick introductions, and we'll start getting really into the, well, some people call it meat and potatoes. Philo and I like to call it the dates and bananas.
Or the fruits and veggies, right?
Fruits and veggies of our materials are coming up in just a few brief moments. So just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I came from a really rough childhood, so opposite to Barry's life. And interestingly, we ended up in the same place for very different reasons. So in my life, I actually came from an abusive father, and in my family, basically the gist of it is I learned all of the things that I didn't want to be, all of the things that I didn't have that I wanted, and all of the behaviors and all of the emotions that I didn't want in my life. And so that really pushed me to realize that I had to fend for myself and that I needed to try really hard in life, and that it started to shape my belief system to think that everything has to be really hard. So I started out my life thinking everything has to be really hard and you have to struggle in order to succeed. And so I did that. I struggled in everything that I did, and I worked my butt off. I worked 4 jobs when I was going to college. I got my first babysitting job when I was 11 years old. I was babysitting for 4 kids for $2 an hour. Then I got when I was in college, I had 4 jobs when I was trying to put myself through college, and I finally realized that I could still be or do whatever I wanted, and that I wanted to feel like I was successful, and the way that I thought I had to do that was to get a corporate career and to become really successful. So I pushed myself really hard, and I struggled, and I realized that after 8 years in the company, and after having 5 promotions, and ended up being the leader of an entire region in sales and development training, and being executive to the a consultant to the executive for the area, that I still wasn't happy. And so I had to do things to change my life around. And it was when I realized that I was already manifesting all of the things that I got in my life by applying myself in my mind, I was able to create all of these promotions, and I was able to create all the hard working success that I got. Now I'm able to apply that in all the areas of my life when I started realizing how that worked. So we're going to get into exactly what that looks like in just a little bit here. So let me just hand it over to Philo. Philo, can you tell us a little bit about yourself within about a minute?
Yeah, sure. I grew up average kid. Actually became really overweight early on in my life, and I had to make a decision at some point that I didn't want to be overweight anymore. So I lost about 100 pounds actually, which you can believe it. I'm quite thin now, but yeah. So I lost a bunch of weight. I got pretty depressed in my childhood and didn't really know what to do with my life. So it was a while before I realized that if I didn't change, that nothing would change for me. And I really want to get to the meat and potatoes, like everyone's saying, so I'm going to keep it short. But yeah, so eventually, long story short, my family got foreclosed on. We lost our house. We had nowhere to go, so I ended up living on a ranch about 4 hours away. I grew up in LA, so that's where I grew up. But after we lived there for about 2 years, again, I had this realization: if I don't change, then nothing will change for me. So I began to really make some serious changes. And there's 3 critical things that allowed me to change, which I won't get to you just yet because we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But those 3 things, which you will learn about in a few minutes, those are the things that really allowed me to like escalate quickly out of a really crappy situation. So that's my story in a nutshell. Now I travel the world, inspire people. I love everything about my life now. So hope that's quick enough for you guys.
All right. Well, guys, let's get into some of the stuff, okay? Let's get some of the stuff because there is a lot of information. And I know some of you guys are like, just give me the stuff already. Just give me, like, why you guys keep going on about the story and then storytelling. Guys, the point, okay, if you guys, and then I actually saw a comment somebody asked, is this, you know, the your wish is your command? Is this what this is all about? This isn't just about any one particular thing, okay? We've actually studied a lot of different things, but for me, I'll be honest with you, I used to not be a reader. I actually still don't read all that much. I actually came from a background where when I was in school, like I failed science class in 6th grade. How the heck do you fail science class in 6th grade? I got a 15% in that class, and also in English class, I actually cheated a lot of my vocabulary tests. Okay, so just so you guys know, like the background that I came from, like I haven't. It took me. I went through a long way to get to where I am, and what I learned is that our experience is our best teacher, guys. We can read as much as we want. I've read a lot of books before. I've read a lot of spiritual books. I read, you know, Think and Grow Rich. I read so many different books, and maybe some of you guys have read a lot. Some of you guys have listened to a lot of seminars. A lot of you guys maybe have like watch movies like The Secret, or listen to a lot of audios and personal development stuff, and like say, wow, this is really great stuff, right? And then it's like, well, where's my result? Where is the result that I'm looking for? When I got into a relationship, I thought I knew it all. And I started to be so much in my mind and let the ego take over because I knew everything, right? Have you guys ever felt like we just know everything? Well, I knew everything, that I separated myself from who I really am. So now I'm all up in the mind, I'm all logical, and I can't feel anymore. And it took a 10-year relationship. A 10-year relationship. I'm 25 years old right now. It took a 10-year relationship to end for me to get to the point of where I am right now. Because when that ended, I felt this void in my chest. There was like this hole in my chest that I didn't know how to overcome. Okay? It got so bad. I was yelling. I was feeling frustrated. I was feeling angry. I felt like really needy, right? I'm like, I needed something. And I realized that because I attached myself to her, meaning I identified myself to her, when she left, I lost myself. It was like I lost all purpose of who I am because I realized I didn't have a purpose for myself. I didn't know my purpose. I thought I knew my purpose. Because I was with another person for so long, I forgot how it was to be by myself. So when I finally got to be by myself, I didn't know who I was anymore. Because I didn't know who I was, I didn't know my passion, that was when I didn't want to live. Guys, it got so bad that I wanted to commit suicide. All because I didn't know my purpose. I didn't value my life. This is why I tell stories. It's because we learn through the experience. I can give you everything. I can give you the steps, the tools, the quotes. I can tell you everything just like you're reading in books. Guys, you already read that stuff in the books. You already listened to the audios, right? But for some reason, we're not getting exactly what we want, right? For some reason, we're not living the lifestyle, or some of us, right? We're not living the exactly like, you know, there's this thing that I want, but you know what? Maybe I'm not meant to, you know, maybe that's not my purpose to live that type of lifestyle. Maybe it's not okay for me to, you know, get this type of success, right? That's for them, but for me, you know what? I'm happy right now. I hear a lot of that. I hear a lot of people say, you know what? No, I'm happy. I'm happy. This is enough. This is enough. And then I look to them, I'm like, wow. See, my vision is that I want to change the world. And when you guys saw the promotional video at the very front, I mean that to the core. I mean that. Because if it wasn't for me finding a purpose, it wasn't for me finding a sustainable community project for me to work on and have something and have a community of people that I can be with, and to remove all the negativity in my life that is holding me down like crabs, right? Have you guys known if you put one crab or one lobster in like a little bucket, they can, you know, kind of get out pretty easily. But when you put a bunch of crabs together, what happens? That's right. When one person tries to leave, the other crab says, no, you don't. No, you don't. You come back down, right? Another crab tries to leave. Oh, no, you're coming back down with us. And sometimes a lot of people that we have in our life right now is like the crabs. They see that, oh, this person trying to be success. No, you don't, because I need you here, right? I need you here. I need you to stay down here with me. It was so difficult. It was so difficult, okay, for me to say no to people. The people that I used to just like not ever say no to. The hardest people for me to say no to, you guys want to know who they are? The hardest people, not just my friends, because I had to say no to a lot of them. I said, guys, my vision is way too big, and I can't have you guys bringing me back down. Some of us, we don't have a vision. Some of us, we don't know what it is, our purpose in life, right? So you know, sometimes we ask, I know back in the day when they say, oh, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of life? And they say, hey, no one can figure that answer out. Guys, have you heard of that back in the past? For me, when I ask, hey, what's the meaning of life, right? And then say, no one knows that. That's like $1 million question. No, this is only a mindset. This is stuff that we've been conditioned to learn. Guys, this is stuff that people have told us and made us believe that we can't find our meaning of life, that it's very difficult. No, I'm here to say no, because from the point of me committing suicide, it took only 6 months. 6 months for me to get from that point to pure bliss. Pure bliss. Guys, not just what people call happiness and joy. No, pure bliss, where I wake up in the morning, I get out of bed, and I blast on music, I start dancing, I start singing, and I don't give a crap about what anybody thinks. And that, guys, that is why we're here. This is what I want for you. You guys say, oh, give me the meat and potatoes and veggies and fruits and, I don't know, dates and bananas, right? Whatever the heck. Guys, this entire webinar, even the storytelling, even what I'm saying right now, there is the answer inside of it already. It's in here already. When I learn about martial arts, right, it's like, what was the quote? I'm not afraid of the person who knows 10,000 kicks or practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I'm afraid of the guy who practiced one kick 10,000 times. And this I will quote from the Your Wish is Your Command series, okay, Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau, okay, because he gave a story about this, about how he learned, okay, how he learned from a Shaolin monk, right? He said, hey, let me show you how to throw a punch. And then Kevin Trudeau was like, what? No, I know how to throw a punch. I know how to throw a punch. Show me how to like do all the cool stuff, right? He's like, no. Let me show you how to throw a punch. And then so after after a little bit of time, okay, Kevin Trudeau, and then the Shaolin master, okay, show me your punch. So then he does a really good horseback stance. Okay, he throws a really nice punch and stops 1 inch from the candle. He stops 1 inch from the candle, and then the Shaolin monk's like, wow, that's great. Let me show you a punch. The Shaolin monk came over there. He smiled at Kevin, and then he punched, and he was like 6 feet away or a foot away. I don't know, some like long distance away from the flame, and the flame completely vanished. Guys, life is simple. The answer you already have. You already have the answer deep inside of you, and we're making all these stories, and we've been conditioned throughout our entire life, okay, to believe that everything is difficult. And what I learned from Albert Einstein, okay, is that I don't know what the quote is, so I don't memorize things that well, okay. But there's a quote from Albert Einstein that says something about simplicity, okay, that if it's not simple, it's not the truth. Something like that, okay. If you guys know what the quote is on the bottom, somebody just write a comment. I can't see that right now, but there's something about the truth is simple. We already have, and it's about mastering the basics, mastering the basics, mastering the basics. But first, we have to find out all the stuff in our minds in which we are going through. Like right after now, well, right after, I don't know, whatever my little rant right here, okay? We're going to go into those things that are keeping us from the law of attraction. Because I can tell you, right, what the law of attraction is, how to do it. But if you don't have this part, if you don't understand what I'm saying right, if you don't feel what I'm trying to communicate right now, then you may miss the whole thing. And you said, oh, I waited this whole time, right? Like this, right here, right? We're in the back, but in the back row, right? We're like this. He's like, guys, just tell me already. What is it? Give me the strategies. Give me the marketing strategies. Guys, for me to get over 350 people just on my own, I've never done that before. I had a message from the universe. I know that might sound like a little crazy, right? And maybe I am a crazy guy, but you know what? I'm better crazy than being normal. I'm better crazy and being myself and being happy being myself than being like everybody else and having average results, guys, and living an average life, guys. I am not here to make friends. I will be honest right now. I am not here to make friends. I am here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because I know from my experience, I had people telling me my entire life, what I wanted to hear. It's like, oh, no, it's okay, it's okay. Telling me things like sugarcoating everything. No, please, I don't want you to sugarcoat no more. I don't want to prolong my success. I helped a lot of friends. At first, when I got to this place of pure bliss in the 6 months' time, guys, I'm grateful. I am grateful that I was able to do it that fast. And then around the same time, my friends, they were going through problems. They were going through relationship issues. One of my friends, he wanted to commit suicide. Okay, they had 5-year relationship, 10-year relationship. They don't know what to do. But they looked up to me because I had 10-year relationship. And I fixed it in 6 months. Now every single one of them are living the lifestyle that they want. They manifested their dream girl, their soulmates. It's not, I know, guys, I've read some of these comments, okay, that we have. It's like, guys, it's not just about soulmates or manifesting this, manifesting that. It's a lifestyle. Yes, it is a lifestyle. Okay, it is a lifestyle. But isn't it great that we get to basically manifest whatever we want, whether, you know, we want to judge it like right or wrong? Isn't it great that whatever we want we can have? This is what we're going to show you right here. Is because the reason why I'm doing this is because I figured, for me, I got to that place of bliss. And then I showed my immediate circle as the place of bliss. And then when I started to manifest, when I started to have miracles, when I started to have synchronicities, they started to witness. They started to witness all of that. Guys, here, let me do a test. I'll give you the answer right now on how you can manifest anything that you want. All right, ready? It's very easy. It's like one word. Belief. All right, guys, I'm done. Guys, I'm done. Okay? Guys, that's the content. See? That's not enough, is it? No, it's not enough. I found my gift in every single one of you. Every single one of you are a unique individual. I believe that every single one of you are like X-Men. You have this superpower that no one else has. You have the superpower that no one else have. You have a gift that the world is waiting to receive. Guys, you have something. No matter how much value that you might not think that you had, because I was that guy. I was a guy back in the school days where nobody really wanted me. I had a bunch of acne everywhere. You know, I had really short. I looked like a boy, and I was very immature, right? I was so shy walking up to girls and things like that. Guys, at that point, I was a nobody. But now I had the confidence. I learned how to get it. I want to show you guys how you have something. You have a power, and all the struggles that you've had. Maybe you're in a really bad situation right now. Maybe you're going through this turmoil. Maybe you're going through some situations that's like, well, you feel like you can't do anything about. That you think this is it. This is never gonna change. No. No. I'm here to tell you that yes, you can change it. And yes, you can manifest a different reality. And yes, you can manifest all your whole desire, and the sky is not even the limit. The stars are not even the limit. The cosmos is not even the limit. There's more and more and more. I believe that life is infinite. That love is infinite. Guys, love is infinite. God, the universe, infinite. There are no limits but what is on your mind. All the stuff in here, all the stuff we've been conditioned to think, all the stuff that's keeping you back here, say, all right, look, stop talking me up, all right? All right, stop yelling at me over here. Right? Some of you guys may be thinking that, probably in the back seat, right? It's like, what is that talking about? Right? You guys, damn, snap out of it, okay? It's so much better on the other side. Just open up. Open yourself up. Just, guys, take a deep breath. Ready, guys? Take a deep breath with me, ready? There is an answer in your breath. Did you know that? There is all the answers that you want, guys. All of it is in your breath, because the breath is not just oxygen to me. Breath is the breath of life. And when you start to breathe in life, you breathe in this energy, you can overcome all emotional turmoil. That is a secret, the breath of life. So if you're going through some stuff, you're feeling some stuff, like feeling really bad and your energy is taken down, focus on your breath. Now I'm kind of getting off topic here and we have a lot of things to talk about, but what I want to say right now is for those of you guys who are like, all right, just hurry up. No, I'm not. If you want to get off, you get off now. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm not here to like get anything from you guys. I'm here to help. And I only want to work with people who want to be helped. And I want to work with people who believe in my vision of changing the world. And want to have a message that they want to share. I want to have a voice that want to be heard. So, where are we?
The reason why Jin was feeling it was so important to really fill you up and get your mind prepared is that we can't even begin to see success in our lives if we don't understand what our own personal struggles are, what our stories are, where we're coming from. We have to first take the step, and this is really what Jin was saying. The content of this material comes down to the simple area of beliefs. So the only way that we can actually bridge ourselves between what we want and where we want to be, where we are and where we want to be, is by our thoughts and our actions. In order to do that, we have to first realize where are our thoughts and actions coming from. And this is the step that so many people miss. That's why Jin was going on and on about it, because you can think about the law of attraction and you can try to practice it all you want. And you will get nowhere unless you first realize where your daily activities are coming from. What do you do every single day when you aren't consciously creating something? And how can you do more to be conscious of what you're creating? It's our thoughts and our actions that are constructed by our subconscious mind that are completely in control of us at all times. So the more that we can set ourselves up for realizing where those things are coming from, that is the only way we were ever going to get results in our lives. So we've actually got a step-by-step course laid out on how you can actually shift your beliefs in order to come to what you want in that pure bliss that Jin was talking about. So let's still talk a little bit about where that comes from. And first of all, where our beliefs are coming from is our perceptions and our perceptions on the world are based off of our beliefs. Those two things are linked together. So how we perceive things, how we see things, is actually going to be our reality. The biggest piece that people are stuck on is thinking that these external circumstances, there is some external truth. And so the more exposure you have to opening your mind, you realize that I could be in the same exact room as Jin, and the same room as Barry, and the same room as Philo, and somebody could come in and say something to us, and depending on how I feel or how distracted I am or what is actually happening, we may receive that message completely differently. We might all have even heard the exact same words, but because of where our emotional state was, or because of some experience we had with that same person in the past, we may have a completely different perception of the underlying feelings that that person was experiencing, or some other way that we're interpreting that message. So we have to realize that we are all wearing glasses all the time that shape how we see reality. And we may think that we are seeing the truth, but our eyes, our ears, our minds are all changing based on all of the little underlying things that have shaped us up until this point in our lives. So how we are going to deal with everything in our lives is got to start with examining what beliefs we have in order to start to realize that we can actually reshape those in a way that's way more beneficial for us. So that's step number one, really realizing where our beliefs came from and what they are. We can't get anywhere until we can realize what our beliefs are, and then we can start to change them consciously. I'll pass it back over to Jin so he can add us a little bit more about beliefs.
All right, so beliefs. There's a lot of beliefs that we have that keep us from where we want to go, okay? Beliefs, there's a lot of different types of beliefs, okay? And conditioning that we've gone through. So a lot of it can be like, let's give some examples, right? So of beliefs, okay? School, okay? So basically, our school system actually helped condition our beliefs to believing things have to be a certain way, right? Our parents, actually one of the big factors that actually affect our belief. The biggest factor, because I mean, if we really think about it, when we're born, who's our God? It's our parents, right? Because we don't know anything else at that time. It's like our parents are like kind of like our gods, right? Like we don't even know. So whatever they do, we kind of pick up on. So that's why it's a lot of times when I see parents, and I apologize if this offends some people, but I believe, you know, when I look at a family, I look at the children, because the children basically mimics the parents, or they learn a lot from the parents, and therefore they have the conditioning, and they have they're acting basically the way that they're acting. So a lot of the stuff that we're trying to overcome, the most difficult beliefs and stories, okay, that we create in our minds that actually prevent us from moving forward is the ones that we have developed from our parents. And in order to see the bigger picture, right, because ultimately why we're here, why are we here on this webinar, okay, or this seminar, or whatever, I don't even know what's the proper term, I just make up names and just call it things. But why are we here on this seminar? We want to learn how to manifest our desires, right? But here's how manifestation works. So that right now, for the guys, for people who want to know like the steps here, I'll just tell you the steps right now, because it's so easy, but just by me telling you, you're not going to get it, right? That's what everyone already done. Everyone's already told you what you need to do, but not a lot of people are getting it. So I'm just going to tell you what I know right now. To manifest your desires, first you have to have an intention, right? You have to know, you have to set an intention. Well, a lot of times we don't even know how to set an intention. We like say, we write it down, and then we say, well, I am rich, right? Or I am successful, I am sexy. Right? So it's like I am all of these things, but then like we don't set it right, because there's actually a process to it. We don't feel it. We don't feel like that's what we really believe in. It's just we heard other people doing it, and then we think that's the way we're supposed to do it. So if you guys are writing things in your journal and say I am this, I am that, and you don't believe in it, you know what? Do you know what you're really doing? Okay, and this is me speaking from experience. You're actually pushing that away from you further and further and further and further. They don't tell you that. Okay? That's why I am telling you that, because I know that when I did that, it didn't work. So what did I have to do? In order to set my intention, I have to be clear. I have to be clear on what I want. I have to know my vision. I need to know my purpose, because ultimately, it's not to manifest our desires. That's not what we really want, okay? To manifest an autopilot. I know you guys are here because you say you want to manifest an autopilot. That's not why you're really here, okay? What we really want, in all of us, we want the same thing. That's why it's very simple. What we really want is to be happy. That's it. Can I exit now? No. Okay, anyways, guys, what we really want is to be happy and being in alignment and to realize who we really are and to live fulfilled. That's what we want. There's temporary happiness, right? There's still things you go out, you go to a club or something, you go drink some alcohol, right? And it's like, yeah, woohoo, woohoo! Or try to be with, you know, a particular person, right? Relationships, right? We want to be a particular person and we try to find happiness through another person. We try to find happiness through an external circumstance, but we can't find happiness through an external circumstance. You might feel it for a little bit, but you know what? It's going to go away. Why? Why? Is that the way it's supposed to be? Is it supposed to be same crap every day? Right? It's supposed to, you know, I ask you, hey, how's your day going? I remember people used to say, you know, same shit every day. Okay? But that's not the way it works. That's not, well, that's the way it works for, I guess, for that person, but that's not the life that you are meant to live. Okay? What you're meant to live, well, what is whatever you want to live. Okay? And that is to understand how to live fulfilled. And in order to live fulfilled, we need to remove all of this stuff so that we know what we really want. Because a lot of the things we say we want in life is not what we really want. Have you ever said, oh, I want something, and you get it? It's like, you know, it's not. You know, I get it. Sometimes I get a video game, or sometimes I can't really think of an example right now. But there's like some things that I say I want, or oh, I know one. I have to go back to relationships because like my whole story is about relationships, right? So so when I say I want something in a particular girl, well, yeah, that's what I want. I wrote it down, but then I get that particular girl. I'm like, no, that's not what I really want. So how do we know what we really want? Well, first, we have to remove a lot of the stuff in our minds. That's where we're getting down to beliefs. You see how I just brought it back to beliefs? It's because I can't just talk about beliefs. You guys are not going to understand what I'm talking about. That's why I have to go around all this, like, you know, beat around the bush a little bit and come back to beliefs so that we understand what beliefs even is. A lot of the quotes that we read, right now I'm going randomly on again, a lot of the quotes that we read, like, was it a teacher, student, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay, this one right here. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I remember vividly all the breakthroughs I've had with that one quote. Why? It's because every time we get to the next level, we have our breakthrough, we become a different person. Once we become a different person, everything is different. Everything, like our whole life is now not the same. We are no longer our past. Guys, we are not our past. Every time you learn something new, you are a whole new person. And what the trick is, or what's tricky about it, is that sometimes we think we are our past. So in a decision that we would have made in the past, we think that that's the decision we want to make right now, not realizing that we are no longer our past and that we're supposed to make a different decision based on who we are at this moment. But the reason why we can't be in this moment right now is because we can't. We have all of this stuff in our mind. We can't live in the moment. Because when you live in the moment, guys, you know, you heard of the book Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, right? Power of Now, living the moment, the eternal moment of now. Have you ever heard of that before? If you haven't, you just heard it, okay? The eternal moment of now. Guys, the moment is infinite. The moment is infinite. Time is like this thing that we label, okay? Did you know that you can slow down time? You can speed up time too. You can make time stop if you want to, and you can just completely be aware of everything all at once. It's like, whoa, who is this? And then you start touching yourself, right? Like, Who am I? What is this power that I feel? What is this peace? What is this calm? What is this emptiness that I've never been able to experience before? Maybe these guys in meditation, these monks, maybe these Buddhists, maybe prayer, maybe there's something in this that I don't yet understand. And that is to be in this moment, because everything that we want, all the answers, is already in the moment. Everything that you want to know is in the moment, and that's why I am able to receive from the universe that I don't have to think when I talk. I don't have to think about what I need to do next, because once I'm in the moment, all the answers come to me and tells me exactly what I need to do next. Say, hey, here's your next step. Here's your next step. And then, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, right? Well, I'm not ready yet. You know what? Maybe I'm not ready for that perfect relationship. Maybe I'm not a man yet. Guys, that's hard to take in. I know. I've been through it. Okay? I have to admit to myself to say, you know what? Man, you know what? I don't deserve that right now. But you know what? I'm going to do everything I can with the cards in my hands to get to exactly where I want to go. Because I'll tell you right now, the cards that you hold in your hand, your resources that you have, that you think you lack. Ooh. You think you lack resources. But no, everything you need, you already have right now to get to your next step. And all you need to know is how to get to your next step. And what that next step is, well, I guess you guys are here, right? This is kind of great. So, all right, beliefs. Find out what your beliefs are. Actually, I think I have some notes here about different places that we get our beliefs from. All right, the media, right? The media, dang, music that we listen to, the people that we surround ourselves with, okay? Sometimes even our religion, okay? Not saying good or bad. I'm just saying that's what actually established some of our beliefs. So maybe something in our belief system that's actually the reason why we can or cannot achieve a certain thing, okay? Or maybe there's something that traumatic happened in your past, right? This huge incident that happened, and because that thing happened, it ingrained into your subconscious. And sometimes we want to block it off, and we don't even want to touch it, right? Guys, think back on some of those times when this thought just creeps back in the back of your mind, right? Just creeps to the front, and as soon as it touches the front door, you shut it off. Those thoughts are your answers. Those thoughts we have to overcome. If you guys really want to live in bliss and manifest all that you want in the fastest way possible, because I'm still working on this too, okay? The more that we overcome all of these things, the faster that we can manifest. And there's a lot of different things we're going to be sharing with you pretty shortly on how to do that. So, holy crap, did I just take up like 30 minutes? I don't even know. I did. Oh, crap. Sorry. All right. Anyways, beliefs. Identify them. When you have a block, when you want to get somewhere, right? Okay, so here's another thing. How do we even identify what our beliefs are that's preventing us, right? Well, first, you have to decide where you want to go, okay? Maybe the intention you have right now isn't your ultimate purpose in life, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Find out what it is that you desire right now first, and then figure out what you have to do to get there, and then you do it. Okay? Because it's very simple. Success is simple. Whatever you want is very simple. The reason why it's difficult is because we have these blocks. These blocks can be our beliefs, the things that, okay, so when you're resistant to something and you know you have to do it, ask yourself, why? Why am I resisting this? What story am I creating right now that is preventing me from moving forward? What stories do I have in my mind? What am I saying to myself right now that is stopping me from taking action? Once you figure that out and you dig deep, you find the root cause and you nip it, completely bring awareness to it, then you can fully heal yourself. Just like going to the, taking drugs at the hospital or health industry, when you take drugs to treat your symptoms, that's just the surface. The core issue is still there. No, what we got to find out is the core. Why do we want to do that? Because we don't want to continue this cycle. This cycle, right, of temporary happiness and then falling back down. Temporary happiness, falling back down, and we got to break that cycle. The only way to break that cycle is to find the root cause of what that is. So I am complete on beliefs. Let's get to the next part.
All right, so for us, the biggest thing that has been helping us is really finding a group of people that you can communicate with that can help you to understand what your beliefs are. It's really hard to actually identify what things are serving you, what viewpoints are serving you, what your viewpoints even are on your own. So one of the best ways that I found that you can do that is to actually find a group of like-minded people. You know, right now you're on a group with a group of people that are all interested in the same things as you. I suggest we, connect on Facebook, message each other, stay supportive of each other, because the more that you can find like-minded people that are on a similar journey, the more you will find yourself accelerating the speed of your growth. The more that you can figure out, well, what things are my actual beliefs versus, what things can I do to actually change my life. So there's different things that we put into our minds, different ways that we can come up with ways to feed our belief systems, and we're going to actually be teaching you how you can put intentional beliefs to work for you rather than completely reacting to life. So instead of being a victim in life, instead of finding ourselves where we feel like life is living us, where we feel like we're always having to react to things, that life is something that happens to us, we can actually shift into a perception and a perspective where we are the hero of our own reality. We are now the ones that are making the decisions. We are, instead of change happening to us, we're proactively seeking out the things that we can change that are going to get us to our desired places in life. Those are going to be the things that are going to be how you feed your mind. And in order to get to a really great place, we have to have people that are supportive. We have to have resources that will support our growth as well. One really key element to being able to change our belief system and change and reshape our mind is to identify our fears and our blocks. In order for us to reach a state where we're actively able to create things, we have to realize what our fears and our blocks are. So it's not just our belief system, it's actually what things frighten me. What things am I purposefully staying away from in life, and why is that? If I have a specific thing that I'm trying to accomplish, what are those things, like Jin said, that are keeping me from getting there? So I can write down exactly where it is that I'm going. Now I can start to think about where I am and what are the specific things that are the barriers from getting there, and what are the things that I could do to bridge that gap as well. So it's twofold. A lot of times people say, oh, with law of attraction, I can just think my way onto the other side. I can just believe that I'm there, or I can just say something and then it will come true. But we've all got those experiences where that isn't either able to be applied at all, or we quit doing it, or it isn't, something that we can apply in all areas of our lives. And a lot of times that's because we haven't figured out, on top of that, now we started to bridge the way to get there, but we haven't figured out what the roadblocks are. What are the things that are keeping us from being able to get to that other point? So that really great resources that we have to do that are going to be, additional friends and family that can help us. And so forming a community with like-minded people is a really, really supportive way to do that. That is going to take us into our journey into awareness. So our fears and our blocks, once we have started to figure out what they are, the next step is to actually take action and do something about it. Okay? So for me, it's really interesting for me to be speaking. Like on Sunday, I was in a group called the Women's Lounge, and I had an audience of over 1,000 people that were listening to me speak. I have no idea how many people are on this call tonight, but I guarantee it's well over 1,000 based on the responses we were getting and the people that were bringing other people to this event. And yet, I used to have a fear of public speaking. So what did I do? I recognized that I had that fear. I was in theater, and I always put myself into the position of being the person that was behind the scenes. I loved theater, but the only way I would get up onto that stage was if I was behind the set doing props or something like that. And so I started to realize that I had this block. I had this block that was not only in this one place in my life, and I started examining that. And I said, well, okay, I have a fear of public speaking, but that's not the fear in reality. What's the underlying issue? And it ended up being that I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't confident that I had a valuable message to provide to other people. I wasn't confident in that, in my ability to formulate a coherent message. I wasn't confident that people would like me. And then I realized that was really all coming because I didn't have enough love for myself. So there's no way that I'd actually even be able to overcome my fear of public speaking until I realized that it was actually due to a lack of confidence, which is coming down to a lack of self-esteem. And then I realized that that came from my childhood, where I got put down so much, and where I, was in an abusive household, and all these other things that were actually shaping that. But as soon as I was able to identify what my fear was and then why I had that, now it's in my hands. Now I'm in control, and I can actually be the person to change that. So I realized where it came from, and I said, you know what? Just because I had that situation when I was growing up and I lived that before, that's not who I am now. I get to control who I am now. So now I can actually put into my thought and my mind that I like who I am. And that, oh my gosh, why don't I start feeding myself with reasons why I like myself? So now I start to actually unblock all of these beliefs. I can deconstruct it and start from the very beginning. I can start from scratch and say, you know what? Those thoughts didn't even come from me. If I actually legitimately, consciously think about what I think of myself, I don't dislike myself. I find that there's lots of things to like. There's lots of people that like lots of things about me. So if I don't like who I am, I can start by actually taking inventory from my friends and family and ask them, what is something that you like about me? Why do you like me? And I can actually start there. So it's taking the baby steps that we need in order to start those changes. Now, if I start to say, hey, Barry, what do you like about me? Why are you my friend? Then I can start to see why somebody else is liking me, and now I have something to work off of. Oh yeah, I like that about myself too. Oh yeah, well I like that you like that about me. So we can start to become aware of all of those things. That's what's going to allow us to start to break free. Break free of all the programming that we didn't even put there in the first place, that we didn't even know we had. That's how we can think of that deconstruction and starting to reformulate our situation from going from a victim to our own hero.
Wow. Was that powerful or what? Like, seriously, just comment below if you felt that was powerful. Wow, I have to give your hands on that. There's one thing I actually do want to talk about, fears. I think this is actually one of my fortes, is to overcome fears. And the reason why I am where I am right now, oh, by the way, I don't think anybody even knows my story because I didn't even talk about it. All right, I'm just gonna throw in my story from here and there. That way you guys know a little bit more about me. But basically now I went from unable to afford to pay for food, gas, food, gas, what else do I need? I don't even know. Okay, food, gas, and other bills and things like that in the past, and I lived with my parents. I went from there most of my life to now traveling the world and pursuing my mission in life, which is to spread sustainable communities all over the world. I'm actually a part of a sustainable community. Wait, hang on a second. Are you muted on the thing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that way you guys don't get double feedback. Okay. So I'm actually part of a sustainable community where it's an open source thing. We want to spread sustainability all over the world. You may have heard of like the Venus Project, things like that. That's basically a stepping stone to that. But right now we can't have something like a utopia, completely futuristic, trillions of dollars of stuff to completely rebuild the world. We actually have to take baby steps. We can't just jump right to it. We have to know what our next step is globally, right? As like a whole, as the human race, what is our next step? And before we can even get to that point, we have to change our consciousness. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the way we are, how we communicate with other people. We have to change how we interact with other people. We have to be able to remove judgment. We have to be able to understand community, right? And work with one another. Like, this is really, we're not ready for a utopia. Not because we don't have the technology. No, we have the technology. We have everything, free energy. We have everything that we want. We already have. But the reason why, I don't believe we'd be able to get there is because our mindset is not in the right place. Even if we have it, we're just gonna blow it all up anyway. So, well, I'm just being kind of funny there. Okay, so fears. Okay. The way that I look at fears is because I've heard a lot of people talk about fears. All you gotta do is overcome your fears, get past your comfort zone, right, and things like that. Well, sometimes that didn't help me. I didn't really understand what that meant until I changed my perception of what fears are. To me, fears is the path to where you're supposed to go. Because the fears is the stuff that we have to overcome in the mind, so that way, once we clean up the house in here, then it's clean and it's clear and we can see straight. A lot of times I don't think we can see straight, so we got to do some house cleaning. And that's what these fears are. So why run away from cleaning up the house? Why? I mean, it's dirty, right? We got to clean it up. So what I believe is that, how do we know the difference between fears and our intuition, right? I think this is really important because sometimes we see an opportunity and we push away from it. It's like, no, it doesn't feel right, right? Have you guys ever heard of that? Oh, it doesn't feel right. Well, why doesn't it feel right, man? Why doesn't it feel right? Does it not feel right because it's really like I'm not supposed to do it? Or does it not feel right because I'm afraid of something? Maybe there's a block, right? Maybe there's this uncomfortableness. See, we use words like uncomfortable and fears, and we think they're two different things. I believe fears and being uncomfortable are the same thing. We just find another way of sugarcoating it and say, no, I'm just uncomfortable. No, you're afraid of it. Let's just call it like what it is. There's either fear or love. Which one is it? You can't just choose, just make up another word in the middle, okay? It's fear. Fear of what? Fear of judgment? If I'm successful, would I be judged by other people? That's something I had to really go through. Because once I started getting a little bit of success, you know what happens? Naysayers. Okay? Haters. Jealous people. The crabs that are pulling me down. They don't want me to succeed because then maybe they look at themselves a certain way. Okay, now we have to look at the other end and maybe we are the person who's judging the successful person. I know I've done that. I looked at rich people before and then I said, I judged them. Oh, here's really interesting. Why do I judge these guys? Maybe I watched movies, right, where the rich people are all evil. Right? Maybe we read books where all these rich people are evil. I mean, come on, let's be serious here. Guys, do you want to overcome your blocks and your fears or what? Right? Let's be honest with ourselves. Why are we resistant to a lot of these things? And when we're uncomfortable doing something, we make a story say, no, I'm just uncomfortable. No, what are you afraid of? If you take this action, a lot of it, I believe, is not 100% of the time, I believe, is judgment. We're afraid of judgment. A lot of times it's not just judgment from other people, but how we judge ourselves. You know how I figured out that I judge myself? I didn't know this. Oh my gosh, I did not know this. You guys can try this exercise because I tried it. Look in the mirror. Stare at yourself. Have you ever tried that? And then talk to yourself. Say, I love you. Oh, no. You don't say I love you to yourself. What, are you crazy? Right? This is retarded. Like, okay, look. Another thing I did, dancing. Okay, at first, my excuse for not dancing was this. Because, I used to be the guy at, the 8th grade prom, just standing in the back. Oh, the girls hate this. The guy standing in the back is like, oh my gosh, grow up already, So I'm just, okay. So let's look at that situation, right? Like, I'm just back here. Well, that was just me, like, wait, hang on. I have ADD. Oh, by the way, I just want to say I have ADD. And some people think it's like a disorder or something. And then I look at a lot of the successful people, like they all say they have ADD. And then like, wow, that's crazy. So actually, where was I actually? Fears. Uh-oh. I am screwing up live on camera. You guys get to experience all of this. All right. So fear, we're trying to overcome the fears. And uncomfortable. And wait, I'm backtracking. You guys can see me do this live, right? I'm backtracking. So uncomfortable. And we try, we're afraid of something. We're afraid of judgment, afraid of judging ourselves. Look in the mirror, right? See, I'm good. We look in the mirror, and then we try to tell ourselves I love you, and then try to dance. That's where I am, okay? Dance. When I started to figure out that I was judging myself by me trying to dance by myself with nobody else around. Have you ever tried that? Some of us, we're afraid of dancing by ourselves. Now, why? Judgment from other people. What? Wait. What other people? What other people? Who's around? Nobody's around except us. So now we're like, whoa, why am I judging myself? See, when we say we're uncomfortable, actually it was a fear, and we thought the fear was that we are afraid of being judged by somebody else. But no, we're actually afraid of us judging ourselves. How did all the uncomfortable part went backtrack all the way to me afraid of me judging myself? That doesn't even make sense. So in that part, I'm like, huh? What is this? So here's where I'm going to get back to the fear. What fear is, how to overcome it, and how I look at fears. I look at fears as a way to live on the edge. You ever go skydiving, right? You go on the roller coasters and everything like that. Well, we have this adrenaline because it's like right outside of our comfort zone. See, there are different types of fears, and I can't get into this all completely because I'm going to talk for like hours and hours, and we can't get to the fruits and veggies, right? So we have to identify what our fear is right outside of our comfort zone, because if we don't do that, we're not going to grow. In order to grow, we got to stretch. Just like working out, you got to stretch. Okay, you got to pump your muscles. You got to work a little bit. You got to feel a little bit of pain, right? You got to feel a little bit of uncomfortableness. But here is where we talk about perception. Because you can either perceive pain as suffering, or you can perceive pain as growing. You have the choice. A lot of people think pain and suffering are one thing, and I'm telling you, pain and suffering are not. The difference is just like fear and caution. I understand you don't want to walk in the street because you can get run over by a car, right? So you walk on a sidewalk. But some people walk on a sidewalk and there's a lot of traffic going on, and we're like, fear, like we're afraid we might get run over or something, and it's just like, no, just be cautious, man. Just don't jump in the road and you'll be fine, right? So caution and fear, what's the difference? Fear is emotional attachment, okay? Fear is a negative emotional attachment to something. Caution is just recognizing, hey, those are sharks, guys. Maybe it's a good idea I don't jump in there. Maybe I should keep my distance, right, in case I slip or something. Yeah, I don't have to emotionalize that. I can just recognize it and be like, okay. So fear and so fear and caution, right? Fear and caution. So that's what those are. One is emotionalized and one is not. Okay. So what does fear? How can we look at fear? We can look at it as not a negative thing. We can use that as, you know what? Whenever I feel uncomfortable, if I take action on it and see what happens. Just like going on roller coasters, that exhilarating feeling. Now you don't have to go skydiving or go on roller coasters in order to feel the exhilarating feeling of living life on the edge. Just by identifying these fears that's right outside of your comfort zone, and you pursue it and you overcome it, okay? When you overcome it, then we can live very, how should I say it? That's when we live life on the edge. And when we live life on the edge, we feel more fulfilled because we feel like we're stretching ourselves and we feel like we're growing. Okay, so reason why we're spending a lot of time on beliefs and fears and our stories and what we're conditioning, it's so important, guys. You guys don't even understand. Some of you might not even understand. It is so critical to manifestation. Critical to manifestation.
You guys, I just felt compelled. I know the ladies here that saw me on Sunday, I apologize for telling the same story twice, but I got so much feedback that it was helpful for people. I wanted to share it again. When I was young, like I said, I came from an abusive family, and it was my perception that everything had to be a struggle, that I had to work really hard, that nobody was there to take care of me, and that I had to do everything myself. And I got to the point in my life where I thought I had found a happy relationship, and that partner, unfortunately, was going through their own things and their own struggle and their own difficulties in life, and wasn't there in the way that I wanted them to be. And I allowed it to affect me so much that I got to the point where I thought that everything around me was so hard and so difficult that I didn't want to be alive anymore. And so I actually ended up calling into work every day for a week. I ended up having insomnia so bad that I couldn't even tell, when I would fall asleep, I couldn't even tell the difference between my waking life and my dreams. I actually had to start asking my roommate at the time if certain things had happened to me in real life or not, so that I could tell the difference between whether I was awake or asleep. I actually got to the point where I didn't leave the house for so long, I didn't answer the phone for so long, that I found out later, years later, that my friends actually thought that I was going to commit suicide. But unfortunately, the people that I was around at the time were also in such a bad spot that they couldn't do or say anything about it, because they were also depressed. And I started to think, when I finally realized, holy cow, I haven't left the house in a week. It took me to get to that point to even realize there was anything wrong. I didn't even realize that I was miserable. I didn't even realize that there was something wrong, that there was something that I needed to change. And so I finally got to the point where I got up enough courage. I went in, I was in college at the time, and I went in and I went to the free counseling program at school. And I went and I saw a psychologist. I sat down, I had an appointment with a psychologist, and I explained what was going on. And the man literally looked at me and he said, "There's nothing wrong with you. I need to take other patients that really need help." And so I took that back, and at first I allowed it to make me feel worse. I allowed it to make me feel worse because somebody else wasn't understanding what was going on with me, and I thought, well, yes, of course there's something wrong with me, or I would have been going to work. And so I actually started thinking about this, and I am so lucky that that happened to me. At first I didn't see it that way because, of course, it made me more depressed. Then I realized, so if there's nothing wrong with me, then what the hell is going on? If there's nothing wrong with me, then why am I not able to feel like I can go to work? Why am I not able to communicate with my family? Why do I feel so crappy that I can't even pick up the phone to call my mom? And I realized that was because of how I chose to see my life. It was the choice in how I was perceiving my situation. And in that moment, I got all of my strength from the universe, and I realized how stupid I was up until that point, because the only thing that was wrong was me thinking that there was something wrong, and I laughed. I laughed so hard, I laughed so loud that I woke up the whole rest of the house, and everybody came running out and were like, "We haven't even heard you laugh in like a month and a half. What in the hell is going on?" And I just said, I understand everything. I understand everything. I realize now that the only thing that I need to be happy is the decision to be happy. And it may sound ridiculous to you, but this is what we were talking about before when we said change can happen in an instant. And the instant that I realized the only thing that was making me upset was the fact that I was allowing myself to be upset. Yeah, of course there were bad things that were happening in my life, but I could look at them as all these bad things that were happening to me, or I could say, I have all these opportunities to learn and grow, and I have a chance to really change myself and to inspire others to do the same. And as soon as I realized that I can say, these things suck and they're happening to me, or, wow, how can I learn from this and teach it to somebody else? Because there's somebody else in a situation that's worse than mine. And if I can learn what to do now, then I can help somebody else get out of this later, and it's going to be in some situation where they're way worse off than I was. As soon as I switched that in my head, I realized that now I know what it feels like. Now I can escape that. I'm beyond those glasses. I can take those glasses off and say, that was what miserable felt like. This is what good feels like, and I feel good right now. And if I can remember what bad feels like and what good feels like, now as soon as I start to feel bad, I can make it a conscious choice to say, no, I don't want that. What can I do to feel good? And so I started to slowly reprogram my mind by saying, oh, in this situation when I feel bad, I can feel good by remembering what it felt like to feel good and doing something that I know will make me feel good. And so what I did was, here's a specific technique, right? As you guys are waiting for, right? Specific techniques. For me, one thing that made all the difference in my life was music. So I made a playlist, and I called it Feelin' Groovy, because at the time, my favorite song was a remix of the 59th Street Bridge, Feelin' Groovy song, right? It was electronic remix version, and I loved it so much that I actually called my playlist that, and I put only music in my playlist that had good lyrics, uplifting, happy lyrics, and I put in my playlist only music that had positive feelings for me. And it's going to look different for everybody. But it's what is it in your life that makes you feel good? And I put only books on my playlist that had inspiration, only inspiration. And so every single time that I started feeling like, man, this day sucks, there's something that I can't control that's out of my control and it's really bringing me down, I went, oh my God, I'm starting to let myself get there again, and I certainly don't want to go there again. I don't want to feel like I did, where I couldn't even sleep, I couldn't even call my family because I felt so crummy. I never want to go back there again. And so as soon as I start to feel that way, now I can be proactive and choose what I'm programming myself with. And that's one of the things that I did, was to actually make a playlist of things that made me feel good. There's lots of different things that you can do, though. Like for Jin, he said he's got music that he listens to too. There's so many different things. If you can think of something that makes you feel happy, do it. If you're feeling crummy and you say, man, you know, all I wish I could do is paint, then paint. If you get inspired by writing, what's stopping you? If there's something that you love that makes you happy, it needs to be part of your daily routine. Think of it as a new vitamin. It's a new prescription that you're writing for yourself. You are your own doctor. You are in control of your life. And you are the only person that knows what the prescription is that's going to be good for you. And that can be anything that you want it to be that makes you feel good. Because as soon as you start feeling good, that is the first step in actually manifesting. And that's why we're spending so much time in it, because people teach you all these little nitty-gritty strategies, and we're going to get into plenty of this other stuff too. But if you don't have the right mind, you will never get anywhere. And the only way you can feed your mind is to figure out what your fears are, what your blocks are, and the things that you can do to put yourself in the right mindset that will even allow you to start to attract good things into your life. It wasn't until I made those decisions that I started to find the right people and the right situations coming to me like that I didn't even have to think about it anymore. I wouldn't have found Barry as my friend if I wouldn't have fed my mind with things that made me feel happy to the point where I thought I could tell everybody about what I was learning. And yeah, maybe in some ways, I found people that just didn't, benefit from that. But at the same time, I found somebody that became one of my best friends in life and has now seen the benefits in their own life. And we can all say that. All of us sitting here right now have changed other people's lives because we stuck to practicing what we believed in and the benefit of positive thoughts and positive intentions and positive right actions. So that's why you are here right now. This is something that we're speaking on right now that you need to do and you're hearing for a reason. And that you need to share it and you need to practice it. So I want everybody right now that has their notebook out. If you don't have a notebook, get one right now. And the first thing that you should write down, if you haven't written down anything yet, is be your own doctor. What's my daily prescription? Okay?
Wow. I was actually almost like getting in tears just listening, because I'm like going back into my past and looking at everything that I went through and all the suffering and all the pain. And it's like, now we got on the other side, and we know how it's like, and we know how to bring people here, and we're telling them, this is what you got to do. This stuff right here, what we're talking about, is the thing that is keeping us from getting to where we want to go. And what I realized that to manifest, because I learned how to manifest by accident. When I learned to manifest, it wasn't because of books, okay? Yeah. Honestly, when people told me to reach Think and Grow Rich in the past, I read 2 pages, fell asleep. Some of you guys might be that person, right? You read, it's like, I can't read, I just fall asleep. Honestly, damn, I'll be honest, reading puts me to sleep. If I need a lullaby, if I need a sleeping pill, I read, right? I read next to my bed, I'm like, boom, right? And I just knock out. So what I learned, okay, from experience, the way that I manifested was feeling good. Feeling good, guarding my energy. My energy is what helped me manifest. It was my energy. But even though you know that, a lot of us, we don't know where to go. Like, well, great, thank you for telling me. What do I do, right? How do I get to that point? So when I'm feeling good, sometimes if I'm not trying to pursue my purpose and my mission, right? If I'm not trying to feel what's my greater purpose here on this earth, if I'm not pursuing that actively, I can only feel good for so long. Even if I'm in a relationship that at first, love at first sight, love, oh my gosh, yes, 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 you know what, I'll tell you right now, eventually, that's going to go down. It's going to go downhill. Because then it's like, okay, well, I got him or her, but something's, I don't know, something's not right, right? So our constant pursuit of our purpose here and being clear on our intention, finding out what it is, why am I here? That mixed with feeling good and feeding your mind positive with positive thoughts and finding your fears, constantly seeking your fears, that the whole package, guys, not just choosing because you're trying to avoid this part of the manifestation secret. No, you're like choosing which one you want to do. You can't choose which one, because ultimately, now that I'm on the other side, I love all of it. I love the entire process. I love the fears. I love the uncomfortable. I love the thrill. I love the exhilaration. I love living life on the edge. So we have to be in alignment and constantly seek something better, seek something more. Because sometimes we have all these problems at our household, with our relationship, with our family, and we're trying to wonder why. It's like, why? Why am I feeling this way? Why I have so many problems in the household? Well, maybe it's because we're being stagnant. Maybe we're being content. Maybe we're being okay with where we're at, and all we can do is, you know what, I'm just going to go to work every day and then just come back and not do anything, right? And watch TV. Yeah, of course, over time, that relationship is going to go downhill. Of course, you're going to lose that feeling, right? That love, that passion, right? That flirtiness, right, in a relationship. Of course, that's going to happen if you're just going to go to work, come back, and not do crap. Of course, guys. What, you think you could do that? You think you just sit down and it's like, yeah, okay, so my belief, I actually believe in reincarnation. Okay, I actually believe in it. No, you guys don't have to. It doesn't really matter. But this is like how I make up stories in my mind to to support whatever it is I'm trying to do. So like, since I believe in reincarnation, I'm like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe. Let me consider this. Maybe I lived like 600 lifetimes already, right? Maybe. I'm just saying. I'm just making stuff up. All right. So let's say I've already lived 600 lifetimes. Well, what if the past 50 I've been doing the same thing, sitting around not doing crap? I'm just saying, right? Because I believe all is perfect. We're all one. I believe that there are no accidents. I believe, like the end result is guaranteed. I believe that, right? I believe that. Well, if I believe that, then maybe let's just see here. Maybe I don't have to do anything in this lifetime. I don't have to try to do something better. But what if I die and my next lifetime I'm back in the same spot? Yeah. See, I can only do that for so long. So if you know that life is infinite, that that our universe is infinite, then why not do something more? Sometimes I believe that success has a peak, right? Sometimes, like for me, I know for me personally, the reason why I didn't want to get success is because I said, well, that's boring. Now you have everything. Now what? Right? Now you sit down, sit on your butt, and not do anything? That is so not true. What dispelled my myth is to be around those people, be around these wealthy people, and see that they're constantly moving forward. They're constantly expanding their minds, and that growth is infinite, success is infinite, and there's never a top. You make $1 million, next you can make 2 or make 15 or make $1 billion. See, money in the wrong hands, yeah, they can do bad things, but money in the good hands? You know how fast we can change the world? That's why I do what I do. So again, bring this back, alignment. Get all of these pieces, everything that we're talking about, you incorporate all of it. Holistic. Thank you, Jess. So it's like holistic. We can't pick and choose. We have to live our whole lifestyle that way, and the more holistic that we are, then the faster we manifest. The faster we manifest. Okay, so this is all the prerequisite, right? This is all the prerequisite to even start talking about manifestation, because just because the whole manifesting part is really easy. It's very simple. It's not really that. It's not rocket science. It's actually literally very simple. After you figure out a lot of the blocks and the fears, and figure out what it is that your purpose in life, and try to constantly try to achieve it, right? And then constantly moving forward. You don't have to get there tomorrow. As long as you're moving forward, and tomorrow is better than today, you're fine. You will move to where you have to go, and that you seek your fears. Everything that you feel uncomfortable, go towards it, because that is the path. If you want to do something, I'll tell you this right now. When I had the intention in the past, I would say, you know what, I need money right now. I don't know how. I just really want to manifest this money because I want to do something with it, and I just need it, but I don't know how. I'm not working. How am I supposed to do this, right? I had to put myself out of my comfort zone to do things that I didn't want to do, right? Use all the cards in my hands, and once I use all the cards in my hands, then somehow, some way, miraculously, I don't even understand how this works, but all of a sudden the perfect situation comes in. It's like, oh, now you are ready. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So boom, oh, my next step comes in. It's like, whoa, that's interesting, because I wasn't looking for that. I was focusing on my one path to get to where I want, but whereas the answer wasn't this one path that I was staring at and being so focused on, the answer came from something else that I couldn't even possibly dream of in my philosophy. I couldn't even dream of how that would even happen. See, what's good on the other side of overcoming your fears? It is so good, it's so awesome, it is so exciting that even I cannot imagine how great it can be. And that's what life can be if you follow what we say, because imagine the greatest thing that could ever happen to you. Times that by 10. That is what the universe gives you. Every single time. Every single time. Universe just gives you 10 times better than you could awfully possibly dream. You're like, how did this happen? I'm so God. That's how I can wake up every morning, jump out of bed, start dancing, and start smiling, and just go like this. That's how. So think we kind of covered. Do we want? Does anybody want to actually come out and share anything that they want to share?
Let me give a little intro here. All right, so basically I just wanted to give you guys a little recap here. So first of all, we have been talking about how to manifest your bliss, right? So the secrets that will take you to being able to manifest your own bliss. And in order to accomplish this, there's a little structure that you have to follow, right? So it's really funny. One of my best friends, Stacy, who I lived with for 8 years actually, she says that I'm future backwards. And I like to share my examples because I feel like it helps other people that think in the same way I do. But for me, I have to understand where I'm going in order to know how to get there. So the first step is actually figuring out where, for me, is where is it that I'm trying to go, right? So getting that intention set of this is the thing that I'm trying to accomplish, then we can go backwards from that and say, oh, okay, what are the fears or blocks that are keeping me from getting there? Then I can go back down a step and say, what were the underlying beliefs or perceptions that I had that were causing those fears or blocks? And that's how I can ultimately start to structure it. So if you guys want some of the fast ways or the quick answers, that would be what we're talking about in a nutshell right there, okay? So the thing about that is, though, that not everything always goes according to plan. But Jen always likes to say, your struggles are your power. So I think it's important that we talk about how our struggles relate to our journey. And the best person I know for that right now is going to be Barry. So Barry, can you give us your brief story about how you have actually done the opposite of what we were talking about and what we can learn from that?
All right, guys, this story is pretty funny. And Barry, you might want to speak up too, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to hear. So just.
Oh, okay. How's that for the audio right now? It's good. Give me a thumbs up if the audio is good. Cool, sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna disagree with Jen and say the story's not funny in the time that it's happening, but it's funny after the fact because I did the exact opposite of everything that I believe when it comes to manifestation, because it's something that I've been doing for a long time. Okay. So I kind of left off my story earlier in terms of that I went back to a corporate job that I had in my earlier time when I manifested actually getting the job. I set that intention, and actually how I actually got that job is some of these secrets that we're going to be teaching you guys here later on. Like the people who do have the issue with, or that do have, think that we're going too slow, like there's some really, really good stuff coming up here, like really soon. So stay tuned. I manifested that job by doing some of these things that we're going to talk about later on. And then when I realized that when I got back into that job that it wasn't the reason why I left it in the first place, I started manifesting all these really, really bad things actually happening. So I started telling myself, I don't like my job. I don't like my job. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like what I'm doing. Oh man, I hated going to it. And then I would like doing the things that actually Jen was talking about before. Like, I would come home and literally just like sit on the couch, watch TV, eat something, and pass out on the couch. Like I literally was just like a big lump. It sucked. So I hate my job. I hate my job. As the thoughts always coming through my head. And then one of the things that ended up happening in this area that I worked in. So the part that I did say, I used to do consulting for a restaurant chain. I worked with about a little over 40 different restaurants. Giving these places advice on how to increase their sales, decrease their operating costs, and have how to operate their business better overall, and make more money and all that kind of stuff. So I worked in a really rough area, and when I was working in that area, there was a manager that was shot in one of my stores. It's just a really bad area, lots of robberies and that kind of stuff. And because of the fact that I already really did not like my job, that thought really started sticking in my head. I was like, oh my god, like I don't want to be here. Like not only am I not enjoying it as much because I'm not getting a chance to do my passions and my purpose, which is developing people and teaching and that kind of stuff. Because of the fact that I'm not able to do that, and then in this really bad area where like it's all this crime and stuff, like it just made me enjoy it that much less. So I'm concentrating on that instead of concentrating on the things that I do like about the job, because I didn't hate everything. I just didn't like parts of it. And so, that's the part that I'm concentrating on. And what ended up happening, I was at a store, I had my computer down. Not a lot of people actually know this story. Just the people on this panel, a couple of really close friends, not a lot of people know this story. I had my computer down, I had it sit down on a table, and also this guy jacked my computer. He takes it and he runs at the door. So I take off after him, and the owner of the store takes up the back door. We cut this guy off, and he pulled a knife on us. It's like just this terrifying moment, like, oh my gosh, where's this going to go, and the story is a lot worse. That's the crazy thing. So we're talking the guy down, and just like, give back the computer, don't worry about it. And the guy puts on the computer. We go back inside, and what ended up happening was that was just a setup for the store to get robbed. So I walk back into the store, and there's a sawed-off shotgun pulled on me, like 2 feet from my face. It was just like light flashing before my eyes. Like just this, like, oh my gosh, where's this gonna go from here on out? And I get back home, I tell my friends about this and stuff. Actually a couple people that are on this panel. Philo wasn't there at the time, but Jess and Jen, and they're like. You're creating this, like you're manifesting this, and I'm like, and I kind of believed it, but I kind of didn't. And then now I go back over this stuff, and I'm just like, well, man, like I totally did, like it's just absolutely insane, because the fears that I had, the fears that I had about not enjoying the job, and then also the fears I had about robbery. That's what I created. The blocks that were going on because of the fact that I didn't like my job, I wasn't concentrating on the things that I did like about it. So again, those blocks that I had. They created this. Then again, I wasn't aware of the things that were going on. I wasn't aware of the things that I should be doing to create a better circumstances in this job. So that awareness wasn't there. I wasn't setting proper intentions either. If I was setting proper intentions, my intention would have been, this is what I need to do to get out of this job. But I wasn't doing that. And so, those intentions then weren't there either. And, my purpose and vision, that goes along with it as well. I didn't set a purpose or a vision to be able to get out of the circumstances. And so everything that, that it comes to with, having the secret of bliss and manifesting everything that you want in your life, I did the exact opposite. And this is after I learned this stuff for a long time. Which the really cool thing about that is, because of the fact that I was doing everything opposite, it's because of the fact that as we were talking about before, the laws of law of attraction, manifestation, it's actually hard to do at times. It's an easy concept, and it's an easy thing to go about doing, but it's hard to do because you have to have conscious effort and thought on creating these positive realities in your life and the positive intentions that you're going to be working towards, which is the cool thing about our, the stuff we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit, because we're now going to teach you how to put all the things you need to be doing, all the positive things that you need to have going on in your life, and your vision, your path that you need to walk in order to get to your greater purpose and your definite purpose in life. We're going to teach you now how to actually do all those things on Autopilot. So that's kind of my story about how I know about this stuff. I didn't do it right, created this bad reality, and now we're going to be able to teach you guys how to create a really good reality for yourself for everything that you're doing going forward.
Awesome. Drawbacks of actually sitting next to your business partners, right? Okay, so thanks for sharing, Barry. I know so a place like we were talking about it's really easy to get into that pattern with the law of attraction of you finally find yourself in those situations where, wow, I wasn't putting that conscious effort in, and now I'm creating these things, and it doesn't even become something that's part of your perception, like I was talking about me, and I didn't even realize that I was, miserable until I started missing work for a week and whatever. It's really hard to notice and even be aware of what our perceptions are. So how in the heck can we consciously choose different ones if we don't have a way to continuously recognize them? And that's just all really complicated. It's all really hard, and that's where we get that version of the law of attraction, right? That takes a lot of work and it's difficult to do. So we're actually going to use that now to give you that structure that you have been craving and how we can start to change things. So it's just as we've been discussing, most of our daily lives are actually structured unconsciously. Our behaviors are driven by the programming that is shaping our subconscious minds whether we're aware of it or not. So the good news is, though, that because now you're aware of your unawareness, now you can start to consciously form your subconscious. Sounds kind of crazy, right? Now that you're aware of what you were unaware of, now you can start to consciously recreate your subconscious. So that's what we're going to be talking about right now, is how exactly do we do that? What tools and resources all of us here have found? A number. I mean, we could go on forever about it. We're just going to give you the very best ones tonight and what you can do, the things that we use to reprogram our conscious minds by the use of our subconsciousness. Okay? So first of all, I'm just going to hand it over to Jin so he can give you a little bit more of some information and background with the stuff we're going to get into.
All right. Now I'm actually like actively checking like the mics, right? Because now we don't have this feedback stuff. Okay, I'm good. All right, guys. This is what you guys have been waiting for, right? How to put manifestation on autopilot, but how do we manifest? And that's just actually what Jess is seeing right now. Though the way to manifest is to be in complete alignment. Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind has to be in alignment. Your thoughts, your feelings have to be in alignment. What you do, what you say, what you think, do, and say, and how you feel. Wow, just trying to remember all this stuff. All of these things need to be in alignment in order for this to work. And that's why all of the stuff, make sure all of these things are in alignment before we can even start getting what we want. And what we find, this is the funny part, guys. This is why I just can't help but to laugh at the universe. I'm like, are you serious? Are you telling me that's all I had to do? Okay? Because really, once we're in alignment, here's how it works. You stick it and you create it. That's it. You want it and it's here. You don't have to do anything to manifest. You don't have to do anything to manifest if you're already in alignment, because all you got to do is choose who you want to be. Here is what the old paradigm is. You think something before you do something, before you be something, right? You have to think something in order to do something, right? Hey, think before you speak, right? You hear about that? Okay, that's actually, we've been programmed in our mind to actually, maybe that was a good thing. Maybe you said something bad, right? And that's why we have to think before we speak. But because of that, I believe, for me, personally, because I was told that, I thought I had to think before I do. I thought, that's the association that I made. I have to think about something before I can do something, and then I have to do something in order to be something. I have to do this in order to be happy. I gotta buy these things in order to be happy. I have to have this relationship in order to be happy, and I have to look this way in order to be happy, right? So that is the old paradigm. The new paradigm, which is what more and more people are starting to understand, is that no, we be first. It's backwards. You become it first, and just as you feel, okay, you feel it, you choose who you want to be first, and then you just do whatever that person is. Look, you can you can choose to be happy, and you're happy, just a snap of a finger, you're happy, and then you just do what a happy person does, and you think what a happy person thinks. Now, why is it that most of us can't do that? Right? Why is it that most of us, we can't just think to be, no, you can't just think yourself happy. You can't just be happy. You gotta do all this stuff before you get happy. You know what? It's kind of right. All you have to do is to basically everything we talked about. Everything we talked about, get rid of that, choose your intention, and then figure out what you want, and then you just know. You just know that it will happen, and it will happen. So now manifestation is no longer difficult. By the way, this is not the big secret that we're going to tell you. I'm just telling you how manifestation works, because we've done it over and over and over again. And at first, I thought it was just me, but Jess does it, and then also Barry and also Philo, we all do it now, and we see that there's a commonality between them, because I've never been around so many people in my life, okay, that can also manifest. And that I can actually help other people outside of me manifest. I never seen that before, but I knew there was a common thing. And that is basically what I just said now. Okay? Basically, Get rid of all the stuff and then know what you want. You feel happy. You become it. You feel it. You got to feel it. You got to feel the right feeling, and which we're going to also talk about.
So I just wanted to chime in really quickly because basically when we're talking about this, we have so much social proof that we want to give you. So I know that what we're about to cover is going to actually sound so simplistic that and so straightforward that you're going to think that there's not even any way that it could work, because it's actually a progression that you make. It's the information we're telling you is as simple as think it and you will receive it, okay? But we all have these perceptions and barriers that this is why we were trying to lay that out in the beginning. We have this perception and barrier that everything has to be a struggle to some degree. We have this perception and barrier that there are too many other things that are keeping us. There's too many excuses that we can come up with of why that could never be the case. But I'm going to tell you right now that I have done this over and over and over again. And even my manifesting friend, when he said in the beginning that he thought he was a manifestor until he met me, it is because Jin's paradigm when I met him was that, yes, I can manifest things, but I have to struggle. There's some sort of breakthrough that I have to have before I can get there. And so what I started to show him was, what? No, you don't. Why do you have to struggle? I just don't struggle, and I can just do it. And he's like, well, what do you do? And I said, I just know it. I think of something that I want, and I know I'm going to have it, and then I put it away, and then it happens. And he was like, what? It can't be that easy. There's too many other things that you have to do. There's no steps. What do you mean? You know, some people say, oh, I have to write it down in a certain way, and then I have to change that, and so I get closer and closer, and then I can finally start to believe that maybe one day, someday, I can finally reach that thing, but it's way over there, and I can't have it until I can get from here to all the way over there. I said, that's a waste of my life. There's too many things that I want to do. That's going to take forever. I skip that, and I just say, here's what I want. I know I'm going to have it. I'm done with it. I put it away, and then it happens. So, I mean, take what you will from that, but we're going to teach you exactly how I retrained my mind to become solid in that belief. And now, because that's my perception, because that is my belief, my belief now is that everything is always better than I ever expect. With that one thing, expecting that one thing, guess what? Everything's always better than I expect. And I always have miracles. I always have surprise things that happen that I never would have thought of, because my perception is that everything's always better than I expect, and that everything is always easy, and that whatever I want and whatever I put my thoughts into will become true. And so guess what? Because that's my perception, and I'm not just saying that. That's my real perception of my life. And I believe it, and I know it, and I breathe it. I don't have to think about it. That's just how it is for me. And therefore, that's my reality. But how do you get there if you're not there? That's what we're going to go through right now.
So we have to have like this delay in between. It's like, oh, you ready? Ready? Go, click it, quick. Okay, cool. Now I can unmute. Dang. You know what? This is funny because this is really funny because when I started manifesting, I like struggled. Like I had to struggle. Like if I don't struggle, how can I manifest? I have to like do all this thing before I manifest. How do we get to where Jess is? Like one way. Now we talk about it. Finally, woo! So finally, we get to how can you put it on autopilot? So you don't have to struggle like me, because I struggled way too much, right? And now I'm like, you know what? Screw the struggling stuff. I want this to be done easy. Now, if you understand everything that we just talked about, oh my God! If you guys listen from the beginning. Okay, maybe you have to listen to this over and over again, but if you really understand, guys, this is gold. We're not just dropping golden nuggets. We're not just dropping golden bars. We're going to be dropping crystals. Crystals. Why crystal? I just love crystals, and it's more a spiritual thing. Anyways, now, all right, enough hype, right? I've been hyping for like a whole week now. You guys have been seeing my stuff like all over. MVP, what is it? Okay, so there are, in Think and Grow Rich, so that way we can try and bring everyone back together first. That way that will make more sense, right? Yeah. All right, so in the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about MDP, which is major definite purpose. Major definite purpose, and on there it shows like this thing you're supposed to read and tell yourself, you know, if you want to make a certain amount of income, you would say, you know, as of this date I am generating X amount of money, and blah blah blah. I can see it, I can touch it, you know, I can taste it, I can feel it, or whatever. And then this is what I'm committed to doing. This is what I believe, and this I am, a bunch of affirmations, which a lot of people do, right? And a lot of people, you know, so some people get success, and a lot of people they don't really get the success. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. I believe that Think and Grow Rich, it works like a charm if all the other points that we just talked about are in place. See, I think all of these books, they work so well, but it's like with the assumption that everything we just talked about, the fears, blocks, and obstacles and all that stuff, that's taken care of. If that's still there, we can't even believe in the words that are reading because there's a lot of blocks that we still have in place. So major definite purpose, a lot of people, you know, we have a journal. I'll show you my journal, okay? I have a journal here, and then also have another journal. Okay, I have two different journals. One's like my dream journal, and the other one's like for me to just write a lot of stuff, right? Like my vision and everything. And then once I clarify it, I put in this one because this one has like nice flowers on it. So and then, you know, I just use this one a little bit differently. So I'm just saying. So we've heard of writing our vision down. We heard of vision boards. We heard of all of that. But how? Here is the magic. Okay, here is the magic. How can we put overcoming fears on autopilot? How can we put overcoming or overcoming obstacles on autopilot? Right? How do we get those foundational things down, and on top of that, to basically put what our intention is. So first, I want to make this much money, or this is the lifestyle that I want. I want a better relationship. I want to manifest my dream life, you know, girl. And plus, I also wrote down like my dream girl and stuff like that too on here. And I was like, damn it, I got what I asked for. Like, damn, why? It's like, and then I was like, flip the page. I'm like, universe, you are hilarious. You're funny. You're funny. You know what? Take this. You know. So me, I actually play with the universe. I play with, you know, I have a conversation with God. Right. That's actually a really, really, really awesome book, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. But I actually have conversations. I'm like, all right, fine. Let me write down more of this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. I've been doing this for a year and a half now. Okay, a year and a half now. So like I'm writing this thing down, and then I would get what I wrote again. I'm like, wait a second, this is great, but I got exactly what I asked for. So it's this constant process of like, what? Why is it that I feel the need for somebody? And the reason why I'm talking about relationship, because I think that's such a huge topic that I think a lot of people who are on here is going through this right now. I just think it's important to go through. So if you're not into relationship and stuff, I don't know. Just hear me out here. All right. So basically, for the relationship part is is that we don't know what we want. We think we know what we want, but we don't really know. And then so we feel the need for somebody to complete us when we don't need anybody to be completed. In order to successfully have somebody else enter to your life, you have to be complete yourself. You have to be able to overcome all of these things yourself. You have to be able to live on yourself first before you add somebody else onto your life. So that way, you know for a fact that you are already centered, that you are stable. Whereas if you just get two people together and they're not really stable and they're looking for each other for happiness, hey, I'm not happy, but I'm looking for you for happiness. But you're not happy, you're looking for me for happiness. Okay, oh wow, this makes a lot of sense. This is great. This is really great strategy. You guys want to be logical, right? Okay, wow. That's a very logical, smart thing to do, right? And guys, I'm just joking around here, but not at the same time, right? Because that's what I did. So actually, it was Barry who actually helped me, okay, and say, you know, you don't have to feel like you need anybody, right? You have to like what I learned now is that I have to know my mission and my purpose first and foremost. First and foremost, that is priority for me. If I don't have that, no girl will want me. No. They might want me first, and then later on, they're not going to want me anymore, right? I got to be a man. I got to learn. I got to do everything I need to be that man. And I will do whatever it takes to be the best man that I can be. Because even right now, I don't think that I'm ready. I think that there's still more that I need to grow, that there's so much more. And the person that I want, I need to be prepared. When the student's ready, the teacher will appear. I need to be ready for what the universe has to offer. And that's why we want something. We have to be ready for it. Wow, did I just go off on another rant again? It's like one of my things. But whoa, going back to MDP now. So when we write down what we want, yes, you can manifest what you want. But let's find a way to the missing piece, right? On the ads, you guys seen ads and you see me like talk about, blasting this message all over. This is missing piece. Well, here's the missing piece to putting things on autopilot, right? Is by reading this thing that we write down, our vision, and basically our vision, our definite major purpose. We write it down, and then we have to write down all the stuff that we want to work on. What are the stuff that we're lacking right now? That is where it's at. Now, there's a lot of tools that we found that we can add on top of it, okay, that it will enhance the entire experience. And actually, I can learn how to manifest and overcome a lot of those things and a lot of those, reprogram my subconscious mind in order to manifest what I want, because it's the subconscious mind is what you really feel. And by what you feel, by feeling it, that's how you manifest. So by changing your subconscious mind, well, now you got the answer. But how do we do that easily? How do you do that effectively? How to do that on autopilot? So right now, we have, well, should I just mention it now or give it to Barry?
Give it to Philo.
Philo, okay, cool. So Philo, why don't you come out and give your experience on what you found and what you've actually used. By the way, we all use it too, but Philo really had this really big breakthrough. I actually want him to share his story on how he found it in the past. And then now we're going to bridge that to what we all learned and put together to create this super power, awesome, amazing, like what other cool words can we throw on there? Epic, okay, epic. I don't know damn, I can't even think of like cool words because my vocabulary is so tiny, right? This method that if you use this, oh guys, I did that just one day and then boom, instantly I got a download from the universe, told me exactly what I need to do, and that's the only reason why you guys are all here right now. And you can ask Jess, you can ask Philo, you can ask Barry, that if it wasn't for me finding this method that we're gonna tell you right now, you guys wouldn't even be here because I wouldn't have the guts to do it, okay? And I wouldn't have even thought about doing this until I was able to put everything away, right? All the fears, all the doubts, everything, and be clear, be single-minded, be clear, empty your mind, be like water, Bruce Lee, right? Was able to do that, receive the message, take massive action, and boom, now you hear Philo. Take it away. I want to hear your story, man, and I think everyone here as well.
Thanks, Jen. I'm really happy to be here. It's been awesome just listening to you guys. I have like pages of notes. I mean, we masterminded on this, but I myself am taking notes. So I just got to show you got to be really humble these days. But yeah. So if you're here in the beginning, I was telling my story about how I grew up and all that, and I ended up on a ranch. We lost our home. We got foreclosure, and at that point in my life, I was pretty much at rock bottom. I had barely enough money to even feed myself or my family or anything, and I was just living with my mom and working on this ranch to pay the rent, and I had like no income, right? And at that point, I realized that if I didn't change that, nothing would change for me. So I really dug deep, and I got into self-development, and at that point, I learned a lot about the subconscious mind, because here's the thing, I had been making all these great decisions and everything, but none of them stuck. It was like me just making these decisions over and over and over, and nothing would ever stick, and I'd find myself a week later going, what happened? I just made this great decision, and now I'm back to where I started. And I think for most people, they've experienced that at one point or another, or they're in that currently, and the way I got out of that was I started to research the subconscious mind, and one of the first things I found, lo and behold, I'm actually pretty good at manifestation even before I understood how it worked. One of the first things that just kind of fell into my lap was this idea that, oh, I can just listen to something while I sleep, and lo and behold, it'll show up in my life. And whatever, it turns out that it's actually 100% true. Whatever it is you put into your mind while you're sleeping goes directly to your subconscious, and 100%, or say 111%, influences everything that you think about and everything that you do in your day, which then influences your beliefs, then influences everything that you get in your life. And if it wasn't for me discovering that, I never would have even taken action with that. But so there's a number of tools that I use, and there's a particular program that I use. I found it online. It's actually at sleepbreakthrough.com, and you can buy audios there. And only like $5 each, and this guy makes them. They're actually really, really cool, and I started using those, and literally within, I'm going to say, 2 or 3 days, my entire just paradigm on everything just completely shifted. I started to experience a whole different reality, and I was still making the same decisions that I've been making my whole life, but now they actually started to stick. I found myself in the same situation, but now being emotionally available, I'll say, responsible and able to act in my highest good, and instead of retreating into my emotions and feeling like I'm not even in control of my life, I was able to actually hold my ground and stay firm and be able to stick to my decision until it became a habit, and at that point it was effortless to just maintain a habit. So the bottom line is you're going to get these sleep audios, and along with that you're going to want to listen to that every single night. But what really gets crazy is that I was doing this, these audios were not that targeted. They were very general, and even when they were general, I was still getting these incredible results. And so the trick was, how can I really target the message in my subconscious? How can I really change my beliefs? How can I, like what Jen was talking about, get straight to the fears, straight to the blocks, get straight through those so that I can just get straight to manifesting as quickly as possible. And what we discover is we put 2 and 2 together, or 1 and 1 together, because that's 11 and it's better. We put the MDP, we actually read the MDP into an audio that we then listen to every night. And because you think about it, depends on how long you sleep, but if you listen to something for 8, 10, 11 hours, however long you sleep every night, that is incredibly, incredibly powerful, and you're literally creating like a background happiness that is just there all the time. And it takes away, I'm going to say, like 90 to 95% of struggle out of manifesting and out of just being happy. Because when it comes to manifesting, I discovered, along with what Jen and Jess were saying, that it's really just about being happy all the time. And if you can't be happy, good luck with manifesting, because your emotional state dictates your thoughts, and your thoughts dictate your actions, and your actions dictate what the universe gives back to you. So that's the bottom line with a sleep audio, is putting the MDP in there. And I think I'm going to give it to Barry right now to talk about binaural beats and stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks, Philo. So, as always, man, you're awesome. I just want to say that. So before I actually continue on with what Philo was just talking about, I'm actually going to circle back a little bit, because I think there might have been a few things that I could maybe just want to touch on a little bit stronger. Not with the stuff that you just went through, Philo, but actually with some stuff before that. Jen talked a little before about journaling, which is awesome. But I want to actually touch more on the languaging side of things when it comes to your MDP, which is your major definite purpose. The languaging of your MDP is actually like one of the most important things that you can do if it's done correctly, because not only actually defining that and typing it out and reading it to yourself every day is important, but how you utilize that in your audios, in your sleep audios, with what Philo was just talking about, was also really important. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the languaging as well. With the languaging, what you want to make sure you do is you always want to put all of your languaging for your major definite purpose in the current tense, as if you already have it. So it's not, I am going to be making this much money, or I will have this person in my life, or I will be happy in the future at some point. It's, I am happy, or I do have this person, or I am making this much money. And then the other part of the languaging also is putting a lot of emotions and actually making that really, 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 really vivid. The people on the panel and also a couple of my friends that are texting me here during this and stuff, that it's really funny. I'm getting a text from friends that are on this. Some of those friends that have seen my major definite purpose, they know, all right, I had it done, but then I was like, I'm actually done yet, because I actually had to spend a whole extra day putting all descriptive language into it, because the other key to the major definite purpose, besides having it all in current tense, is actually having a really descriptive language that what happens is you actually picture that in your mind. So the guys on the panel here might laugh, because I actually talk about it in my major definite purpose. Me feeling the energies of the universe coming into my body and filling it up, and then me actually being able to explode it like lightning out of my limbs into the other parts of the universe, and then drawing that energy back into myself. And so descriptive language like that, where you, like, while you're saying it, you probably just actually thought of lightning shooting out of my hands and out of my body into the universe, and that's the important things that you need to make sure you're doing when you're running your major definite purpose, is having really descriptive language like that, because without having descriptive language, you are not going to be able to picture it in your head, and picturing in your head is actually what's going to create that emotional connection and actually making it real and stuff to you in that moment. Now on to the part that combines actually with Philo's, that makes this on, like, I'm giving a finger to 1 minute.
No,
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to add to that languaging piece, because I thought you brought up a really great point, Barry, is it's all about how we can be proactive in. Jin was also talking about another thing, was being able to actually bridge that gap, okay? So when we're talking about bridging the gap between where somebody is in their current emotional and mental state and where they're trying to go, in order to feel really good, if I said I am a millionaire right now, I might not feel really good about that. So I'm not going to be able to, and this is one of the things we were talking about with the law of attraction, I may not be able to actually feel good saying that out loud if I write it that way, if I really don't feel it. So you may find that a technique that I would offer in addition is actually, instead of that fake it till you make it approach that we were talking about with some of the law of attraction things, it's bridging that gap so that when you are reading your major definite purpose out loud, the most important thing is that you believe it and that you feel good when you're saying it. So it may take you a little bit of time to actually use languaging that bridges that gap for maybe just one time that you do it. Maybe a couple of days, maybe a week, but whatever it takes so that you feel good when you're saying it. So I might actually start out by saying something like, I know that it is possible for me to be a millionaire, right? So it's those little tweaks that we can actually put that are going to actually make us feel really good when we say it. I know it's possible for me to be a millionaire. And all of a sudden, that just completely changes it. And I go, oh, well, of course it's possible. Like, maybe I don't even know exactly how it would happen right now, but it's possible. Anything's possible. So I could say anything after saying it's possible. In my mind, it's still congruent. So I just wanted to add those little tweaks, because there's these different things that we can use in how I can get there. I see myself moving towards. That's a really good one. That's a bridge, right? I see myself moving towards, and then whatever that goal is. Because now I believe it. I'm not incongruent. I'm completely congruent with how my thoughts and my emotions are aligning. I'm moving towards. I can see in my future that this is coming. And then we don't want to keep that forever, though, right? Because the whole point is that we're reprogramming it so that we can actually get there. This is one problem that I've seen people run across, is that if you stay on that bridge for too long, then you're never going to be at your destination, right? So
actually, I actually want to put one point. If you guys are not writing this down, you're shooting yourselves in the foot. Okay? Like, if you guys haven't been taking notes, I would say this is where you take the most notes. All the different languages, you need to write all of it down. I know you guys can't see me right now. Oh my God! What? I just did a hack. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Anyway, guys, that's kind of funny. Guys, if you guys are not writing this down, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Write this down. This is one of the most important parts of the entire process. If you get this part wrong, you will push your dreams away from you. Why? Because your subconscious, you can't lie to your subconscious. Your subconscious knows, okay? Whatever your subconscious is what it's attracting. So if you're saying something that you don't agree with in mind, body, and soul, right? If you're not in an alignment completely, you are pushing it away. You have to find the languaging and be okay with the languaging, okay? You have to be okay with not being able to say, I am rich right now, if you don't feel that way.
I am moving towards wealth.
Yes. I'm moving towards wealth. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
I can become rich.
Right. Which languaging, right? Which of these words do I feel the most, like, do I feel the best? Maybe some of them say, you know what? I hope. No, I know I can. It's not I hope, right? I can. Like, oh, well, you know what? I can. No, I can feel it. Oh, now that's another one. So we're going to go through this. And you guys want to write down everything that she's saying. Well, you know, the starting, the pre, I don't know, whatever.
The bridges.
The bridges, right? The I am, the I see, the I feel, I will, I can. Write these things down and keep that with you every time you do your MTP, and just be very aware, okay? Because over time, when you start doing this, it's going to constantly change. It's going to constantly update, all right? So when they update, you have to update it. When you say, you know what? I actually know I can now. Actually, that doesn't excite me as much. You know what? I will. That excites me more. Maybe, no, I can feel it. Maybe I will say, I don't feel it. No, I feel it. If you have a hard time trying to feel what it is that you want, you know what? Put that inside of your major definite purpose. But I feel it until you start feeling it. All right? So there's this right here. You take notes. This is the most important part. Jess, take it away.
All right. So we've covered a lot of good things about the language pattern. I want to go back, for those of you who aren't as familiar with the major definite purpose or Think and Grow Rich, and just touch on something that I feel is a crucial component in addition to and related to this language patterning piece, is that with your major definite purpose, there's actually two parts to it. There's the actual first part of it that you read every day to yourself is the one that's already sort of pre-written by the Napoleon Hill Foundation itself, and that's going to be the little paragraphs that you just fill in a couple little blanks for, and then it comes with the self-confidence formula. Those are, really great because they help to frame. I like to call it like framing, right? So we are actually framing our minds, putting ourselves in that right perception to start receiving by reading those pieces. And those are ones that are already pre-written for us, so we can look at that. Now, here's the thing. As we were talking before about where I'm at in my journey, I want to give this hack to other people that are closer to my level here too, as far as practice with manifestation goes, and where you're at with it, because I feel like it's important to address people are at all different levels. And so when I actually read, here, I'll just show you guys my screen real quick because I'll show you what it looks like for those who haven't seen it.
Start saying major definite purpose, because I think some people don't know what MDP is and they haven't really associated yet. So MDP, by the way, is major definite purpose, and we got that terminology from Napoleon Hill on the Think and Grow Rich book.
Right. Okay, so here's what it looks like. This is the generic one, okay? Your major definite purpose, it's just basically stating, really, because it's Think and Grow Rich, and that's the only reason why we're talking about money, okay? But you can, we'll tell you in a minute how you can do this with every area of your life. The major definite purpose right here is this one, is just around the money piece. You say this one, and then it's the self-confidence formula, okay? The self-confidence formula is really crucial because it starts to reframe and retrain your mind to tell you that it's possible. And this is really where you're starting to form that foundation to grow off of for the rest of the things. So this is only part of it, remember. We're going to tell you all the steps that go together. Because obviously for a lot of you, if you know this book, this isn't anything new. But here's a couple of hacks that I've added to this. The first time I read this, I recognized that even the language in here wasn't to where my level was. So the first thing that I did is when I read through this, I looked at this and I said, okay, this sounds really nice, right? I'm reading it. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life, therefore I demand myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. That sounds great. Pretty much regardless of where you're at in life, you can tell yourself that you are doing that, you're in a really good place, okay? The second step, I realized that dominating thoughts in my mind will eventually reproduce themselves. As soon as I read that, I realized that something did not resonate with me. And so I took this and I crossed out every single time it said the word will. Okay? So let's think about that. If I am retraining my subconscious to believe something, I've already done the work in my life. I'm already to the point where I know that when I write something down or that I believe something, that it comes true. So for me, reading the word will eventually was a step backwards. When I read the word will eventually, it's keeping me from saying that I have it right now. But if I structure it for me where I'm at, for a lot of you, like I said, this is a great bridge to have. It's perfect because if I'm not yet to the point where I can think something and know I can automatically manifest it, then I need that bridge for my mind to be congruent and my feelings and my emotions to be congruent to say, I will eventually have that. But now I've realized that that keeps me back. So I take out the will because if I'm constantly saying I will, then what I'm creating for me is more I will. It's the same thing that I try to teach my friends and family. One of the biggest lessons that I've taught with my friends and family is all about your languaging, okay? What that looks like is I have had my friends that said, well, you know, all I really want is blah, 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 blah. And I say, okay, so tell me about how you think about having that or what you think about that. Well, I just want. Well, I just want. Well, I just want. Well, guess what? When you say it that way, you're telling yourself over and over again that you don't already have it, that you're wanting it, and therefore you're not creating that thing that you want. You're creating more wanting. It's the same thing for me as if I say, I will have this. That means I don't already have it. So I'm never going to get there because that thing is always in the future because that's how I'm saying it to myself. So just keep in mind that you have to make it make sense for you. And I think that's where the biggest pieces are left out. The big crucial components that are left out is how to really customize it and match and be congruent in your language patterns from what exactly it is. You're being really, really specifically careful about how you're saying things. If I say I will have it, that means that I'm telling myself I don't have it. And so I'll never get it because I'm going to keep telling myself I'll have it sometime in the future, which I'll never get to. So just watch out for all of that.
Cool.
Go ahead, Barry.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. You know, and so before I get into what I was going to say, I just wanted to say one really short point for what you just said there, because that was really, really good information, and I just want to drive this point forward. What she's talking about there when it comes to those bridge statements. So I know that I can. I believe that I can. That kind of stuff. What that does is it addresses those 6 points that Jess and Jin were talking about before in the Secrets of Bliss section. So so a little while ago, it's understanding what your beliefs were from your upbringing. It's understanding what your fears were, what your blocks are. Being aware of all that stuff, and now actually being able to set your intentions to those things based on that language that you're picking for those bridge statements. So those are some really good points, Jess. I just wanted to say that because that totally talked exactly what we were talking about before. And in case people weren't making that correlation and making that connection, I just want to point it out. So awesome job. What Philo was talking about before was these sleep audios, and what takes those sleep audios and turns the dial to 11, not to 10 but to 11, because seriously this will just take it to like the complete like insane level, is something called binaural beats. So what a lot of people actually don't understand what binaural beats are. So before I start getting into like the meat potatoes of it or the veggies of it, I'm going to kind of explain what binaural beats are first. So and even before I get to that, I just want to say that this is all actually backed up by like scientific research and stuff. This is not just like some like hokey pokey ideas and stuff. This is all actually scientifically proven information. And for myself, the reason why I need to know that is because I'm one of those people where while I do rely heavily on my emotions and my sense of feeling, and I'm one of those people that, if people don't understand what this means, but some of you will, I'm like a sensitive person, and not the sensitive like, oh, I cry. Well, I do, but like a sensitive person, like I get I get feelings about things that are going on in my life, and I can understand them on a deeper level without actually needing scientific research or like concrete information. But at the same time, I actually do need that concrete information as well, because it's my mind works in two different ways. So this stuff is all scientifically proven. So binaural beats are actually two different frequencies that, when they overlap with each other, there's a gap here. And so that gap, basically what it does is it creates a frequency. So two tones put together creates a gap. Our ears can't understand that it's a frequency, that there's a difference between the tones. It just understands it as one tone. But our brain actually understands it as multiple tones. And so how that's actually done is it's done in stereo. So you have two earphones, and one tone is playing in one ear, and then one tone is playing in the other ear. We hear it as one tone, but our brain actually understands it as two different tones. So basically, that's actually called I think it's like auditory brainstem response, if I remember correctly. So I just want you guys to understand, first of all, what binaural beats are, and I hope that helped. And then then going on with that, there's actually a bunch of different kinds of binaural beats, but we actually want to concentrate on three of them. When I explain what those three are, you'll understand the reason why. The first one is actually called alpha tones. Basically, it's the tones that actually help with like relaxation, and it can help with REM sleep. If people don't know what REM sleep is, it's rapid eye movement sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep is when our brain is like working during our sleep to actually kind of like manifest the things that are going on in our head. It's only going on in our head. So it helps with REM sleep, with relaxation, with super learning. Actually, also helps with relaxed focus, and then actually also helps with like serotonin production as well. And serotonin is actually like it creates like feelings of like happiness and well-being and that kind of stuff. And the last point that I want to make about alpha waves is that it's actually it's the beginning of the access to our unconscious mind. And again, our unconscious mind is all that stuff that's been programmed over the years. So myself, I'm almost 30 years old. So for the last 30 years, my unconscious mind has been being programmed. Those alpha waves is actually what is beginning to access our unconscious mind to be able to reprogram it. The second one. So the first one is called alpha. Second one is called theta. And so theta waves are actually what they do is they actually help us get into like a deep meditation. Actually, not only do they help us get there, but they actually, when you are in a deep meditation, if you're in a meditation, but even if you're not, it's okay because it'll help you in your sleep. It'll help you get into a deep meditation and deep relaxation, and actually also helps produce both NREM sleep, which is non-rapid eye movement sleep, and also rapid eye movement sleep, which is really good. And also, it also increases the chemicals that help with like learning and our memory. Which, if we're working on learning new habits, learning new traits, and creating a new life and stuff, that's what you need to. That's what you need to have. It also helps with increased creativity as well. It's also used. Theta waves are actually also used for like emotional responses, which is really interesting because we're talking about our major definite purpose and emotional responses. Oh, cool! It's up here on the screen. I didn't even see that. That's going to totally help me. Thank you, Jess. So it helps with our emotional experiences as well. And again, when we're writing our major definite purpose, we need those emotional connections to really feel it and actually then create the reality. Helps in changing our behaviors, which obviously that's what we're doing with our major definite purpose, and that's what we're doing, with manifesting our reality. We're actually changing our behaviors, and these theta waves actually do that. And then also helps with increased retention of learned information. So if what we're doing is we're making changes, so that's new learned information, so we need to retain that. So these theta waves actually help us retain that information as well. And then also gives us, again, further access to our unconscious mind. So of the different kinds of waves, now we're talking about so far 2 of them, and both of them actually help us access our unconscious mind, which again is good because we need to reprogram. Again, myself, I'm almost 30, so 30 years of information I need to reprogram in my unconscious and my subconscious, and both these waves help with that. The third one that we need to use, because there's 3, is called gamma waves, and this of the frequencies is actually the highest of the frequencies, and it's so cool to have this in the 3. This makes it so much easier. I love this. Synchronizing different neuronal pathways. So what that means. So we have different pathways that are going on in our brain and stuff, and they actually go between the different parts of the brain. I don't know the names of the parts of the brain because I didn't go to school for that, but it actually synchronizes all those, and then the second part of it acts as a binding mechanism. So not only does it synchronize the different parts of our brain, but then also acts as a binding mechanism between the parts of the brains. So what we need to do to actually learn is we need the different parts of our brains to actually learn new information. And so these gamma waves, what they do is they synchronize those pathways and they bind them together so you can use your whole brain at one time to be able to actually make these changes that you want to have. The next thing it does is actually helps improve our memory. So if we're making changes, what we need to do is we need to remember what these changes are. So it helps with that. It helps with high level processing of new information. So obviously everything we're talking about doing this major definite purpose is new information. Our sense perception as well. As we've been talking about throughout this whole time, is that we need to feel everything that we're putting in our major definite purpose. We need to have those emotions and those connections to it, and that sense perception is exactly what these gamma waves are actually unlocking. And then also helps with enhancing neuroplasticity as well, which neuroplasticity is actually your brain's ability to adapt and grow. So if we, again, are putting in new information into it, we need our brain to adapt and to grow, and these gamma waves are then actually doing that. So the reason why we picked these 3, the alpha waves are actually going to basically help with the beginning stages of actually getting to sleep and actually unlocking our subconscious mind. Will help us relax and it will help us focus. The theta waves actually bring us into a deeper state of sleep, deeper state of meditation and creativity and all that kind of stuff. So it brings us deeper down into it, which will then be able to learn even more. And then those gamma waves, the last waves, are then going to really it takes all that and just like blows it up in terms of like making it super stick into your brain. So that's what we're going to do. That's that's actually what we do with these waves. It's alpha, theta, and then gamma. So now that we understand like what those different waves are, I'll actually explain how you actually utilize those with the sleep audios that Philo was talking about. And I don't know if somebody wants to actually chime in here just for a second. Are we going to talk about the program that they use to actually combine these later, or should I talk about that now?
You can go ahead and mention it right now.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So we have 2 different types of audio. So what you do is you have binaural beats, put my hand in the camera, and then you have sleep audios. And what we need to do is we need to actually put those together. And so to be able to do that, it's a free program. It's called Audacity, Audacity, AUD. Ooh, my screen just went crazy. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. AUDACITY, Audacity. It's a free program. What you can do is you can actually then interlace, actually combine together two different types of audios. And so you have these binaural beats as the bass, and then the sleep audios on top of those. And what that ends up doing is it unlocks all these pathways in your brain. It makes it so that your brain can actually receive more information and actually receive it at a much higher pace and a lot faster than if you just do these sleep audios by themselves. And it just like unlocks this like at a super fast pace. It's pretty amazing, actually. It's awesome. And so yeah, that's actually the second part of it. Now, one thing that Philo had talked about before with these sleep audios was that you can purchase them from this website, but then also one thing that you can that actually makes them stronger is that if they're tailored to your own personal need. And so what you might end up finding from that website is that they might actually not have what you need, and they have a lot on there, but they might not have what you need. So with Audacity, you can actually record your voice to be able to actually record then your major definite purpose. And that's really cool because that way you can actually tailor it to exactly whatever you need. And this is actually what I've done is I record or use this program to record my own audio. I'm not going to use somebody else's. I want to use my own. But then the other part of that is if you do use it, to be in a low tone. It's actually kind of creepy, to be honest. And everybody in the panel that's heard it, it's totally creepy. But it's a low tone. It's very monotone, and it's actually the language is different from your language in your MDP. It's because in your MDP, it's I can do this, and I believe I can do this, and I am doing this, and all that kind of stuff. Whereas your audios will be, let me think of some examples. Do the creepy voice. Actually, Philo, if you want to do it, that'd be great because you actually have more experience. It's totally creepy.
Yeah, you are successful. You are brilliant. You are very fast. You learn quickly. It's like that, but it's deeper. And then actually the one that you buy on Sleep Breakthrough, it starts off by saying sleep. It's really creepy, but it really does work. And the main reason is that once you are asleep, you need to be able to stay asleep, and you have to have the monotone and the third person. The monotone makes it so that you don't wake up. And the third person talks directly to your subconscious, and that is found to be the most effective way of all the ways. Our subconscious listens to what other people tell us and values that kind of feedback far more than what we tell ourselves. So, but we can tell ourselves that in that way, in the third person way, and it's just really, really effective for our subconscious. So that's how that works.
Cool, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
So what? Actually, there's a couple of things that I want to point out. Everyone, everything that they're saying right now is basically the whys, right? Like why do we choose these particular waves? There's actually a reason why we don't choose delta waves. And by the way, some of you guys don't even know what alpha wave, theta, beta. I don't even know any of these wave stuff. That's why I just picked one random one and I just recorded myself talking, right? So I actually wrote down what it is that I want. And by the way, the major definite purpose that you guys got from the Think and Grow Rich, that's not the one I use. So I just want to throw that out there. That's not the only thing that I use. I actually customize it. I customize it and make it personalized to me because there's a lot of other things that I want to put in there, which is the other half, okay, of the major definite purpose. And that's the thing that I actually want to get into. Do you mind if I get into that part? Okay. So the major definite purpose that we get from the Think and Grow Rich, okay, the ones you can find the template online, that only basically says, how to get our particular goal, which is on that one is just money, right? But there's a lot of things that prevents us from getting there, and that is our fears, our blocks, okay, and things like that. So when we start to figure out what is it that is keeping us from achieving it, there are a lot of things that we're afraid of. You know what? I want to be successful. Maybe I have to be a speaker, right? Or maybe I have to be on camera or something, right? Because that's like in my line of work, I have to know how to speak. But in the past, I came from a place where I couldn't even get in front of my classroom and read off of the piece of paper without being so like nervous, and my face is completely flushed, and like I can't even think straight, and everything just blurs out, right? So that was like the fear that I had, but I had to, slowly work on it. But what we're saying here to add on to it is figure out, okay, I want to overcome my fears about, maybe, getting on camera or getting some, getting to basically get to the point where I'm taking action and not let these fears stop me from it. So first we want to identify what we're uncomfortable with, then we can start writing it down on the piece of paper, which, I don't know, do you have any ideas? You can, I have an example of my most recent one. Actually, I should probably read it. My most recent ones that I wrote down that got me this breakthrough of, redoing I don't know what word I'm supposed to use, to completely restructure how MDPs work and what we put into our sleep audios and what we read, so that way we can start reprogramming our minds. So I started to realize that even though I very driven and I'm very passionate, I didn't work fast enough, right? So maybe I kept myself busy, but I wasn't really efficient. I wasn't really productive in what I was doing. So as you're going through life, as you're going through your growth process, maybe you'll realize certain traits about you that, you know what? This keeps happening. This keeps happening to me. I wonder what it is. Oh, and then you would write it down. So let's say you don't know what it is. We can say, well, like you would write down in such a way that will draw whatever it is that you're trying to find to you. Whatever it is that you seek, you can draw it to you just by writing that part down. So let me just get into some examples of what my latest thing that I wrote down just on notes. So this isn't actually my actual final product, but this is like raw notes that I took that helped me get the breakthrough to manifest this entire thing that we're on right now, manifest all of you guys to even watch this live stream right here. So I put, I am always at my utmost state of efficiency. Okay? Notice what I did there. Because I wasn't efficient, I want to tell myself, no, I am always at my utmost or of my best state, okay? Best state of efficiency. All right? I work fast because I think I was working too slow. Okay, maybe sometimes we're busy all the time, but at the end of the day, what do we get accomplished? Not much. So I put, you know what? I work fast. I prioritize quickly and efficiently. I take action immediately. Because why did I choose that one? You see, I'm not just writing things down to write it down. No, I learn things from leaders. Okay, because I am surrounded by leaders, and we're going to talk about the importance of surrounding yourself with other like-minded people, other people who are way ahead of you. And we're going to talk about the importance of that because that is completely mandatory. Yeah, you have to have mentors in your life, or else there's a saying that if you average out all the 5 people around you, that's basically who you are. Whether that's the income, the emotional state, or their lifestyle, that's what it is, okay? So it's really important that you be careful in who you surround yourself with. So back to what I'm saying here is that when I started observing leaders, I noticed one thing. They take action immediately. Once they know what they want, they go right away. They don't think, they know and they take action. So I wrote down, I take action immediately, okay? This was the day before I even started taking action on to make this live stream a reality. And I put, I am laser focused at everything that I do. I am laser focused at everything that I do. My vision is always on my mind. Why? See, here's the thing. Remember, you're not just writing things down for the sake of writing it down. There's a reason why I wrote it down. It's because through the observation of other successful people and studying successful people and observing them and being around them all the time, I realized that their vision is always on their mind. And to manifest, what you think about most of the time is what you get. So what you think about is what you're attracting. So whatever is in your subconscious is what you're attracting. So let's say, I'm always focusing on the negative. Well, that's what I'm going to attract. See, that's why I say, you know what? I keep thinking negatively. Oh, great observation. I keep thinking negatively for some reason. Oh, great. Guys, you know what a life hack is? You write that thing down. What you do? You say, my vision is always on my mind. I always think positively, right? So now you're telling yourself, I always think positive. So now you're just putting that in your mind over and over and over again. Sooner or later, you're not going to think about the negative stuff because you already reprogrammed your mind, okay? I always have my notebook with me. Why did I put that? It's because whenever I want to write something down, I didn't have my notebook. Guys, simple little tweaks. These are tweaks that no one talks about. This is the big breakthrough. Because sometimes we want to say we want to reach a certain level. We want to make a certain amount of income, right? Oh, that's great. But you know what? There's a lot of stuff, house cleaning we got to do that everyone is different. Everyone's house cleaning is different. Everyone's house looks different. So therefore, the way of cleaning up your house is going to be different. So therefore, what you're going to write is not going to be the same as mine. This is it right here, okay? So then, just a little bit more. I recognize blocks quickly and easily. Why did I choose that one? I chose that one because I know that in order to grow faster and to become the man that I need to be in order to change the world, I need to overcome blocks as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Therefore, I wrote that down. That is why I wrote it. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Wow. Man, look, we have like PowerPoints now, right? Okay, so the bridges, right? I am becoming, I can. I am moving towards, I feel, I will, I see that, right? So some of the stuff that I'm putting on mine can be a little bit different because it's according to what I am trying to become. And by knowing the person that you ultimately want to be and you study their habits, you study their patterns, then you start to realize how they are different from you. How is their thought process different from you? How are their actions different from you? How is their way of life different from you? And once you know the difference, you are golden. Once you are aware, you can't go back. And now, once you're aware, you have somewhere to put it so that you can best utilize it to the best of your ability. This is like the most efficient way that we come up with thus far. Maybe later on there's like better tweaks, but right now, I don't know any other place that has what we have here and explain it in this way because this is the missing piece. It's not just writing any random thing down. No, it's the writing a certain way where you have the traditional way of saying, okay, ultimately what you want, but also recognizing what's different from you and the successful people and writing down all the parts and the traits that you need to work on. The things that you need to work on is what is most important. Why? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. That is because you can only do what your next step is. You can't start jumping steps. You have to take the next step. And the next step before you get to the ultimate success that you want, there's a lot of house cleaning to do. So once we start getting into the house cleaning, now that the other MDP that we just talked about, the major definite purpose, that will start to manifest into reality a lot faster. So in my major definite purpose, I have both. I have that one, the one that you guys just saw from what Jess was showing you guys, the major definite purpose template. If you guys Google on the internet, you'll probably find a copy of it. And this is the big secret, is what I'm showing you right now, is the blocks that you have.
There's actually 3 things I wanted to say. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, so sleep audio, that's the big one, right? There's also 2 other things that I use in my life to put everything on autopilot, and it's basically how can I get stuff to go automatically in my life? How can I get everything to just happen without me having to always be consciously pushing and pushing and pushing my subconscious? Even though that's a good thing to do, it can create conflict in your mind a lot and create a lot of background negativity too. So 2 other things that I use to create that autopilot way of getting information into my head without me having to do anything is the first one's the sleep audio. That's the crucial part. The second one is what are called subliminal images or subliminal messages, and you may have heard of those from movies or like on the radio. You may have seen that people have used it to try to sell things. Well, that's just part of it, and it has a negative connotation in that way. But actually, subliminal text and images can be used to greatly enhance your life if you give yourself positive subliminals. So what is a subliminal image? Basically, it's something that bypasses your conscious mind and goes straight to your subconscious, and your subconscious registers it, and it can flash so fast that you can't consciously register it, but it's registered by your mind. Your subconscious picks up just about everything in your life. So a program that I use, it is $45, I believe, one-time payment. It is called MindMaster, and you can get that online. I think it's mindmaster.tv or .com. That is a huge program for me. You can actually put in all your own affirmations or commands or whatever it is you want to put in your mind, your MDP, for instance. You can put it in there. It'll just flash on your screen all day, every day while you're doing your work. Every 5 or 6 seconds, there's a little flash, and you get that message to your subconscious. So it's another great way to get that background all the time. You're getting that message over and over and over and over. And see, that combined with getting 8 or 10 hours of that message every night, with now you're getting, you know, if you spend a lot of time on the computer, if you work from home like I do, spend 6 or 8 hours on the computer sometimes, it's really amazing to have another 6 or 8 hours of positive affirmations just going straight to your subconscious. So that's number 2. I highly, highly, highly recommend that as well, since you just set it up and you let it go and it does its thing. Number 3 is something called mind movies, which are actually amazing because basically there's a bunch of different ways you can get information in your mind, which then affects your ability to manifest and your ability to be happy all the time. And there's visual, there's audio, there's obviously, you know, smells, but that's not something you can always work with, although you can get like essential oils and stuff, but that's another topic. There's affirmations, there's subliminals. Mind movies actually put all these into one, so you can have the visual pictures going. It's just like watching a movie, but you're seeing positive pictures, you're hearing positive audio, you're hearing or seeing affirmations on the screen, you're having subliminal things going at the same time, even sometimes binaural beats too. And what they've shown is that if you start focusing on something for, I think it's like 17 seconds, it starts to become a big part of your reality. And mind movies are another huge thing that I would watch them every day for maybe even up to an hour. I'd watch mind movies, and they would completely change my emotional state to the point where I could just be so happy and bliss and joy. And that's when everything started to manifest so quickly, was when I could get myself to that state on demand. And that in combination with the other two, it's just out of this world. So you got to find what methods work best for you. But for me, those are the big 3. That's what I call them, the big 3. So yeah, I wanted to contribute that before I forgot. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with everybody all that stuff. So we're talking about the hacks to reprogram your subconscious on autopilot, to manifest everything that you desire on autopilot. These are the ways that we're talking about doing that, and it's anything that you can do that you are you put very little conscious effort to upfront that are now running in the background. So these sleep audios, putting your MVP or your major definite purpose into a sleep audio, and doing all these different things to subconsciously reprogram is going to be the biggest way to see expedited results. So that's it right there. The big ways that you can use to reprogram your subconscious consciously. And now we really want to talk about something that's really near and dear to us, because the final part of being able to really consciously create your reality is in every single thing you do, being aware of your goals, and is what I'm doing in this moment moving me towards that goal, or is it moving me away from my goals? And the biggest thing that people are afraid to examine is your surroundings and everything that we do on a regular daily basis. So I want to ask you right now, how serious are you really about wanting to make change in your life? Are you completely happy with everything as it is right now? Or are you really wanting to see some dramatic changes? And sometimes we find that we have certain actions that we need to take that we don't necessarily like. Okay? For me, it was realizing at one point that the relationship that I was in wasn't serving me. Okay? I have big dreams of changing the world, right? My goal and my purpose and why I'm here on this planet is to help move us towards a golden age where humanity treats each other like brothers and sisters, and we can live in harmony with each other and the planet. And the only way that I can do that is by helping people become more conscious and more awakened and more aware and live their own highest good at all times. Okay? We have to surround ourselves with people that are doing, being, and saying and behaving in ways that are in alignment with what our highest good is. The people and the influences of those around you are some of the biggest ways that you can consciously create what your upcoming future is. Look at the people around you and what they're choosing to say and how they're choosing to say it and the things that they're choosing to do on a regular basis, and ask yourself, is that how I see myself in the future? And if the answer is no, what are you going to do about it? Because I'll tell you exactly what I did about it. As soon as I realized that that was a choice, I started to surround myself with people that were having, doing, and being what I wanted, and that I saw myself in my future as. And I'll tell you something that started happening, okay? So in this past April is when I made that decision to start being around people, okay? And I started using a system and a program and mentorship and daily activities that were in alignment in this system with what I was trying to do and become, and it changed my life again. I've done it so many times, but this changed my life again like that. That's actually when Philo and I met. That is when I started being around people that were successful in all the ways that I wanted to be, like Justin Varengia, who was in the very beginning of our call. I've now been invited to spend time at the house of other people that are successful, and I'm being put in leadership roles in all these different programs, in my nonprofit organization, in the women's club that I'm in. All these things are happening because I made a decision to get into a system and surround myself by people that do and think the things that I align with. So I want to hand it over to Jin because he's got a powerful story of that too.
Are you telling me you can be a hippie and rich? What? You know, it didn't make sense to me. When I started finding out that these people can make $5,000, $10,000 a month, I'm like, whoa, really? Online? How do you do that? And then they started making $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month. I'm like, what? What? How's that even possible? Right? It didn't make sense in my mind because, you see, I wanted to change the world as a broke person. I went to the Occupy movement to protest, to stay and spend the night there. Okay? But you know what happened? I couldn't even afford to feed myself. I couldn't even afford to pay for gas to get to the protesting place. And once I got there, I had to basically wait for these guys to bring all the food and donate all this money, right? Donate so that I can just, hey, I just want to eat now. And now I feel like I'm homeless, right? So now I think about it, I'm like, you know, I didn't really have a lot of influence when I was at that state. Why? Maybe it's not just because I didn't have money. Maybe it was because I wasn't in alignment with myself. That I wasn't truly aligned. I wasn't successful in all the areas that I needed to be in the position that I wanted to be in. So if I wanted to change the world, I need to be around world leaders. I need to know how these people who influence the world changes the world. I need to be around them. I don't have time for this play down here at the bottom, right? I need to figure out what it is that I want. And once I figured it out, I said, yo, I need money. I'm sorry. Like Justin said at the beginning, you guys missed Justin, you know, watch it again at the beginning, okay? So you can hear his story. Man, like, without money, I can't do anything. And then I told my mom, I don't need money. I'll just be happy, right? Why? Because I read all of these spiritual books. I did. I read some of these spiritual, and I listened to audio. Actually, I didn't read. I'm sorry, because that's not really what I do. I listen to audio. I say I read to make me feel better, right? But what I did was I listened to audiobooks, okay, over and over, and I got all spiritual. I'm like, I'm happy. I don't need anything in my life. This is it. And I want to change the world? Crazy. It's nonsense. So what I realized is that I had to do something different, okay? I had to allow myself, I need to make money. I had to make money, but I didn't have the time
to make money. But now, there is some way for us to do that, so that way we can have our basic needs basically met, or as we're growing, we're surrounded by all these people, all these successful people, all these wealthy people, and we're hearing them over and over and over, just like you guys are listening to us right now. That's reprogramming your mind so that you can be successful. You see, that is what I feed my mind with. I feed my mind with successful, like basic inspirational talk and things to make me a better person all the time. I blocked out the TV. I blocked out all these negative people of my life. I know sometimes it might be difficult to do, but you know what? My vision is too big. My vision is too big to change the world, to allow something so small, like negative people, to bring me down and not fulfill my mission in life. Okay? So for me, damn, I hated money. I hated money. But you know what? I had to come to a realization that, you know what? With making minimum wage, I can't do crap. I can barely afford, I can't even, look, right now, okay, no, in the past, I could barely afford to support myself when I was single. How am I supposed to support my significant other? How am I supposed to support a family? A lot of people, maybe even watching this right now, you have a difficult time supporting your family. So how do we find the time to even work on our minds, to work on developing it, to guard our energy when we're at work and we're around all these negative people, okay, that's just constantly like we're battling. So you come home, okay, let's say you try to listen to positive stuff, but then you go back to work, and I'm not saying anything wrong with the work or something, but I'm just telling you like it is, right? Then we go back to all these negative people. It's like we're battling, we're like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until I say, you know what, screw that, you know what, I don't care if I die. I am going to pursue my dreams no matter what. And now I can empower other people to do the same thing. I can empower other people to figure out who they really are, because that's why we're here on this planet, is to experience who we really are through community, through other people. By helping other people, how do you feel? When's the last time that somebody said, you know what, thank you so much for changing my life? How did that feel when you change somebody's life? How did that feel when you transform somebody? So now I'm actually in the position to change lives, a lot of lives, like hundreds and thousands of lives that I've never been able to do before. And I wouldn't be talking like I am right now with this much passion if I wasn't around these successful people. And basically right now, we just want to let you guys know, you know what, we are a part of a business, okay? Of a business that's, I've been in businesses before. I've been in network marketing. I've been in all of these deals back and forth all over this way. But have you seen any other network marketing deal that talks about life like the way we are talking about it? Honestly. Do you know, have you seen any other place, any other business opportunity that actually focuses on personal development and finding yourself and finding your purpose in life like the way that we are talking about it right now? I would not be where I am right now if it wasn't for them. That's why I am stressing the importance of being around successful people, and maybe even start working towards your dream. And maybe your situation right now, you can't do that. And maybe you want to start doing something to work towards your dream. So maybe you have to stay at your job. You know what? That's fine. But on the side, you should definitely work towards your dream so that you can put aside what you don't want to do and start living the lifestyle that you want. Because right now, I am traveling the world, which is my dream. I got to go to hot springs. I just get to go to mountains. I get to do whatever the hell I want every single day. And I choose to design my life. I am really passionate about this. Why? Because I know how it's like to be on the other side, and I know a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't want to do something different. That's such a big commitment. Or, you know, I don't like these internet marketing deals. But you know what? Maybe it's time to do that. And actually, I'm going to open it up to anybody else.
Yeah, Jim, I don't know if you even mentioned what exactly it is that you're even talking about, so maybe you should give a bit more description. But what it is that Jen is talking about is something called Empower Network, and if you've never heard of this, this is pretty big. Because of this business, I've been able to quit my job and literally make the decision, okay, I'm going to go live with the people that get the results that I desire. I go live with them. That's hugely powerful in my ability to transform my life by transforming my environment. The people that I spend time with become me. I saw Jin and I saw Jess, and they were having the success that I wanted with their online business. I made the decision to go live with them, and now I do. And now my life is transforming every single day. It's better and better and better. And if it wasn't for Empower Network, I wouldn't have anything that I have right now. It's completely changed my entire life by me being able to surround myself with the people that I need to surround myself with. Completely a game changer. You guys, I can't even say enough about it. It's ridiculous. Maybe someone else should chime in now.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
guys, so I just wanted to let you know here that since we've been talking about manifestation all day, I've got a little secret. We're going to all think really hard and manifest a way to create our own destinies, right? Okay? So everybody just think really hard about creating your own destiny and what it would feel like to not have to worry, to not even think anymore about what it's like to need money, to not even think what it's like to not have enough time. Think of yourself in a situation where you had all the money you needed, you had all the free time in the world to spend with whatever it is that makes you passionate. Whatever your passions are, whether it's developing yourself or spending more time with your friends or family or traveling or working on sustainable community building like Jen and I do, whatever that is, if you could do that, what does that feel like? It takes thought, it takes emotion, and the final piece is action. Do you deserve to be happy? Do you deserve to do everything that you want in life? Do you deserve to live to your fullest potential? Do you deserve to quit your job if you hate your job? Do you deserve to have more time to spend with your loved ones? Do they deserve you? That's what I need you to ask yourself right now. And if the answer to any of those things is yes, you're going to want to take a look at what we have to offer. Because these people right here, we wouldn't even know each other, we wouldn't even be together right now if it wasn't for us making a decision to better ourselves, to better our lives, to join other people that were successful and getting the success that we were looking for. To be able to spend our time working on sustainable communities is a blessing to me that I would not have. I couldn't spend all my time learning new skills, developing myself, actually literally transforming thousands of people by doing calls like this, by doing calls like I did on Sunday night, where I was able to speak about change as being an opportunity, where I was able to speak about manifesting your desires, where I'm actually able to talk about things that I'm passionate about things that I love. There's nothing else that I could do that would allow me to do that on a full-time basis. Nothing. I know because I came from the corporate world. I was a consultant to corporate executives. I was making the money, but I didn't have any time. I didn't have any time to spend actually developing people in their passions. I didn't have any time to even think about my real dream of building a sustainable planet. And now I'm able to do all those things and travel the world with Philo. We actually went to 9 national parks and 13 states in the last month and a half. How many people can say they can do that just because we wanted to?
Do you guys realize that you guys are like the leaders of this new movement? You guys are the leaders of this new world, this new shift in consciousness that nobody else has. I want to stress this a lot. The information you guys just got just right here, no one else has. Because we have lived this life and we've manifested so much. I don't know anybody else who manifests as much as we do. And we want to show you guys this whole thing. And guys, okay, you guys might be wondering, what is this business all about?
It's all self-development. It's all how to grow your own business in whatever it is that you love. Just like I love talking about manifestation. Just like I love talking about sustainability and how to grow and change people. It was whatever you love, that's what you can do with it. And just like we taught you tonight how to put manifestation on autopilot, this program has 2, 3, 5, 10 different ways that I could name right now on how to put business on autopilot. I don't even have to think about my business anymore because I spend all my time doing this instead. I spent all my time doing this instead because my business is on autopilot and I don't have, after I went through the setup process, I have nothing to worry about anymore. So if you want an opportunity like that, I don't know where else you could even get it. I don't think it even exists outside of this because we have so many people that are so successful. Like our friend Justin that was on before, he said he didn't want to throw out numbers, but I'm sorry, he's made over $600,000 in less than a year, $100,000 last month, okay? If you want to make $100,000 in a month, I don't know anywhere else you can do that when you're talking about meditation like he does, okay?
Oh my God.
So that's that, but we have some bonuses for you too because you guys are stormtroopers right now. You're rolling it out. You're hanging in here. And we want to tell you that the stuff that we were talking about in the early session, secrets of bliss, how do you find your blocks and overcome them? Those are secrets that nobody else has, and we're offering them to you.
Because what we have is a place where we're basically a leadership factory. What we build here are leaders. What we build here are people, like we build masters here.
We build community.
We build community. We have the best family. If it wasn't for, look, right now you only see us. There are thousands and thousands of other people just like us.
1,000 people that were in a room in Denver, the most aligned people that I've ever seen in my entire life, all in one room. I can't even tell you. Like, I thought all of this was a joke. I thought there's no way. I'm like, oh, I'm better than that. There's no way that people that are doing business are as good as me, who's doing this nonprofit thing and blah, blah, blah. And then I went and I met the people and I saw them speaking their vision and I felt what they were all about, because I'm an energy person, right? I'm all about energy. And I went and I met them and I felt it. And they were coming from the heart the same way that I was. Their motivation for doing what they're doing is the same as mine. They want to see the world improve. They want to see people awaken and aware and try to actually be living in harmony with each other and helping each other grow and develop constantly. And that's why we have all these different resources that you're plugged into. You're plugged into self-development. You're plugged into a daily call. You're plugged into weekly calls. You're plugged into all these tools and resources that they give away for free. What other business gives away their secrets for free? None.
Get back to the person who invited you, all right? Get back to the person who invited you. It's not about just us. You're going to get us no matter what team you're in, whoever you join. That's not the point here. I'm saying, see, look, I didn't have me to look at, okay? There was other leaders before me that I learned from, and because of them, they are way even more well-developed than I am. Guys, I'm only the beginning. Jess is only the beginning. Philo and Barry, they're only just the beginning. There are people who are surpassed where we are at, and that's what we want you guys to listen to. So it doesn't matter who you join. Get back to the person who invited you. There's going to be a join button, okay? It says join the freedom movement, because we believe that what we are is a freedom movement. And once you join us, then whoever brought you here, they're going to walk you through exactly what you need to do. Like, we're going to map everything out for you. You're going to know everything.
We want to see you be your own hero and actually live your life by your standards, by your own choices. And this is how you can do that. You can join us now, and we are going to give you some extreme bonuses tonight.
Extreme bonuses tonight.
If you take action now.
Oh, guys. Okay, so by midnight, well, actually, I don't even know what time zone we're on. But by the end of tonight, okay, you know what? By 3 a.m. Eastern time, all right? How is that?
Yeah, we'll just call it, you have 5 hours.
You have 5 hours from right now. You have 5 hours from right now, okay, to even take advantage of this bonus, which everyone's going to have, so it doesn't matter what team you're a part of, you're going to have the same thing.
Send us the secret password, Manifester.
Jedi.
Manifester Jedi.
Manifester Jedi is a secret, right? Okay, we're going to give you details in a little bit. Okay, look. Income disclaimer, I completely forgot, okay, because we are a legitimate company. We do everything like the right way, and we want to be in compliance and everything. Income disclaimer, just because we made a lot of money, just because we're traveling the world, just because we're super happy doing everything that we're doing, just because of even though a blind person can make money, even though a deaf person can make $1,500 days, even a person with spinal disease can make $40,000 a month, doesn't mean that you guys can too. And a lot of that stuff, yes, this is big deal. And this stuff works, but you gotta work. So I just want to make sure, just because we make money, you guys don't. And then now.
Just because I made $5,000 in my first 10 days.
Yeah, basically, which is completely ridiculous. I'd never heard of anything like that ever before.
Doesn't mean that you will, but if you take action, you have a darn good chance.
Okay, and only 5 hours from now, you're gonna get this next bonus. Okay, here's this bonus. I guess, damn, I gotta quickly talk about. I need to make sure I have the screen up. So if the thing cuts off, just join and you'll get whatever it is that we're talking about, okay? I had a vision a couple of months ago. I had a download from the universe, and I know now every time I have a download from the universe, something epic is going to happen, because the download I got from the universe is this will change the world.
this will bridge the gap that sustainability, to make sustainability like basically go all over the world. We need to change the consciousness of the world. In order to do that, we need to develop people's awareness, people's consciousness. We had to raise it so that they are ready for that. So that's when I created, when I had the words Secrets of Bliss. And I was trying to figure out a way, how am I going to merge the Secrets of Bliss with business? Well, now I'm like, oh, now I can do that, right? Now I can merge my passion, I can merge my vision, I can merge the thing that I want to do most, which is to change the world, with this business, because the people, the CEO, the founders of this business, they have the same vision as we do, and that is to completely change the entire face of the world, to make the world a better place, and to help us find out why we are even here, to find us spiritually aligned with ourselves. So what this is the Secrets of Bliss course, and I don't even know all the details because I just came up with this, okay?
Well, Jin's actually been recording videos for quite a while, but the live version that we're offering to you is
777 comments. 777 comments right now.
Yes.
I just looked over and I saw 7. What better number to have right now when we're talking about money? 777. You guys are here for a reason. For you to take action tonight. Oh my God, this is...
So what you are getting is a rare one-time opportunity to join our Secrets of Bliss free online live interactive training course.
Yes.
We will personally coach you. We will personally help you find your blocks. We will personally help you uncover your fears, make your plans, discover what your passions are, find what your vision is in life, set your goals, because we know it works, because we do it every day, because we help all of our friends and family do it, and because we love you, because we care, because we want to see the world transform, and the only way to get you there is to bring you with us. So if you are here right now, you are one of the winners. You have gotten a golden ticket. Please take it.
Yes, and also another thing is, once you sign up, then basically you're going to have an orientation, okay, with the person who invited you. You're going to walk you through everything that you need to do, your welcoming thing. You'll know exactly everything that you need to do, so you don't have to worry about that part, okay? I only want to work with people, and the people who invited you only want to work with people who take action and that they're serious about changing their life, and not just sitting around, listen to motivational talk, listen to inspirational speaking, and not want to change, physically do something about it. And right now, by you guys actually doing something about it, okay, that proves to us that that you guys are serious, and we don't have a lot of time. We have hundreds and thousands of people that we're working with, and we don't have the time for people who are just gonna, you know, like wishy-washy. That's the only reason why we're making urgency. I'm just doing a bonus because I want to find some place, right, to have my Secrets of Bliss training to walk you through from where you're at to all the way to manifesting, and you can work directly with us, write questions, everything. You can even do like anonymous questions and everything, and we're gonna address it in a live call or a hangout or something that only you guys have access to. No one else will have access to this outside of, if they left, I'm sorry. So I already changed a lot of people's lives, and so has Barry, so has Philo, so a lot of these people, and we are gonna be there to walk you through everything.
No! What happened? Everything turned off, black screen, 3 seconds. Now we teleport outside. What is going on? Let me tell you guys what's going on, okay? I was talking all hyped up, I'm pumping myself up, and then all of a sudden I see off air, right? And we started getting messages from people. Say, hey, everything turned off, people were crying and everything. And like, what's going on? Our entire panel, everybody were getting messages. And then we realized we were talking for like 3 to 5 minutes afterwards, right? And nobody was listening to us. So anyways, this whole video I'm shooting right now is going to tell you exactly everything that you need to know, okay? Now, first off, there are people who actually couldn't make the live event, right? They couldn't make it, but they wanted to make it, but for some reason, we have people all over the world watching this, and I think some people just said, you know, I'll be sleeping at that time. It's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. In the morning, so they couldn't watch it because they have to wake up for work for the next day. And then just other people, you know, things come up and they can't watch it, and they're just like, hey, is there a replay? And then some people who watch the replay and then they want to take advantage of the bonus, but they don't know if they were able to. So there's this one message that I actually got from somebody from another country. I don't know what country it is because I couldn't even pronounce it, right? And she said, hey, I really wanted to watch this, and I'm really interested, but our entire, like, location, whichever is like country or state or whatever, it was underwater, like 60% of it is underwater. They have like severe weather, and she still wanted to watch it. So I'm like, my heart kind of sank a little bit. So I said, you know, we have to fix that. You know, we want to. The purpose of what we're doing here is to help change the world and help change you guys and give you guys the opportunity to take advantage of everything that we have here, and also to learn as much as you can so that you can live the lifestyle that you want. First things first is the business part, right? Some of you guys are like, okay, what business guys are part of? All right, look, I am a part of a business opportunity, and if you're ready to join, if you already know what it is and you're ready to join now, okay, because you want to take advantage of our bonus, then make sure you click on the Join the Freedom Movement button below, okay? It's only $25 to get started, okay? Get started there. If you don't know what it is and you want to know more information, I actually want you to introduce you guys to our mentors who made all of this possible, okay? And because their vision is basically very similar to ours, and that is to change the face of this world, okay? And they're doing that, and we are changing the world as we speak. But I want you guys to hear their story and then basically what this whole business is all about. So there's actually a video button. Just click on that to find out more information. And if you still have more questions, if you have more questions, then we have a FAQ page, right? Frequently asked questions page. The link's right below too. So just click on that. They'll answer basically like 95% of your questions. Take advantage of this, guys. Let me take a few moments here to see everything else I forgot, and I don't think so. So that's it. Take advantage of this, and I'll see you guys on the inside. Bye.